Dude, I went out for like,
Thanks for everything.
I went out for this fucking game and I was like, I'm done. I like, by the time I got back home, all of the logistical hurdles that you need to overcome when you go to a fucking football game or like a large crowded stadium is so disastrous, dude. It makes me never want to go outside. It makes me never ever want to leave my apartment. Okay, ever. Like, you go to the fucking game. I went there. I'm by myself. I'm like standing there by myself. It's getting hot out. Okay, there's a lot of people. They're all very loud. Okay, there's a lot of people and they're all incredibly fucking loud. And like, it's not my scene at all. Okay, so I run up to this dude and I'm like, while I'm approaching the stadium, I have like full fucking 5 bars AT&T service, right? And I'm like, okay, at least that's not going to be an issue. Just kidding. I have full service, but I can't get a signal. For some reason, I can't send text messages. I can't do any of this shit. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't have a fucking ticket. I don't know where I'm supposed to be going. The only point of contact that I have is the most irresponsible man in America, Austin Show, Mr. Show, right? So I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ, I'm fucked. Like, I literally left my stream, which immediately makes me feel like, you know, I'm whenever I leave the stream early, especially, I just feel like, you know, I'm, you know, fucking you guys over a little bit. So I feel obligated.
Hassle.
So I'm annoyed by that. And then, you know, I left the stream. I come to the fucking stadium and I'm by myself. I'm like, oh my God, this is the worst. This is the worst thing on the planet. And stadiums are so large that, like, if you enter from the wrong side, it's like malls. I hate malls for that exact same reason, right? I hate malls for that exact same reason, because like they're so big that, like, if you don't go from the right side, if you don't get in from like the actual side you're supposed to get in, you're walking for hours at a time. Okay, there's like, oh, sorry, wrong gate. Like, you got to go to fucking, you know, gate number 7,483, which is going to be 3.5 miles around the stadium. And, you know, when you get there, they'll tell you like, oh, no, you actually had the right gate originally. So I'm like, I fucking hate this. Like, it's just like the worst experience of all time. So I'm thinking about all this in the top of my mind. And Austin is, of course, not there. Luckily, there's internet service at the stadium, at SoFi Stadium, which is new, by the way. It's a crazy fucking stadium. Like, it is pretty sick. So Austin pulls up. Then we try to find Austin's manager. We're like, we find the right gate that we need to go to. We like walk around the entire fucking stadium. Of course, all of that.
1 year program.
And we're just like sitting around. We finally get to like the place that we're supposed to be getting to. At first, we go to like the owners club, thinking that that's where we're at. And Austin has never like had box seats before, so he's like freaking out about it. It was really cute. He was like, dude, these box seats, like there's gonna be, you know, like Anthony Davis is gonna be there. Like, I'm like, it's probably not, you know,
8 months, baby.
Normal, like it's not that crazy, I promise. He's like, no, dude, it's gonna be sick. So we walk into the owner club thinking that that's the seats. Like, no, it's not. Okay, they're like, yeah, no, these are not. You're in the wrong place. Get out of here. Then we find the actual box seats. And like, box seats are all right. Like they're perfect for me because like I'm not a sports guy, right?
Holy shit.
I'm not trying to fucking watch the game anyway, even though I watched the whole game when I was there. But it's just like, it's great for me because like you fucking literally sit, you can watch the game on a TV. Okay, that's what box seats are for. To go to the fucking stadium and then watch the game on the TV while you're eating food. They make like little living rooms in a stadium for rich people. So I get there. There's AC, there's food, obviously.
Wait.
I get there and I start clapping, dude. I'm just like, I'm macking, boys. Okay, I am literally just, I'm eating like nobody's watching, but everybody's watching because like I'm one of the content creators that's there, and it's like these guys are like industry folks, so everyone's like, oh, they like, you know, you feel like the prettiest girl at the ball in many different ways, right? So I was like, I'm downing fucking tendies, dude. They got tendies on there. Unfortunately, not a heavy sauce selection at SoFi Stadium. Only barbecue sauce and ranch. But you know, country boys make do. Okay. So I'm like, fuck it. I'll do a little bit. There's also guac and tortilla chips. So I'm like taking a little bit of the guac and like taking a little bit of the tendies. I didn't want to like make my own concoctions in front of all these people. Like they were not ready for it. You know what I mean? So I was just like trying to maintain the sanctity of the buffet that they had placed before us, which was already, yeah, no hot sauce. It was crazy. So for me, I was thinking like, all right, I'm gonna like, I'm not going to destroy the sanctity of the buffet by, you know, taking the hot dog, buns and then like putting tendies in it and then putting like guacamole on it. Cause like those are separate locations on the buffet, implying that these are not supposed to mix and match. No miscegenation of you know, Mexican food and also hot dogs. So like
5 months, Poggies,
I wanted to really bad, but I didn't do it. I should have done that though. I should have done like fucking guacamole with the chicken tendies. You know, just I don't know. I would have gone buck wild, right? But
1 more month.
I didn't do that, but I did fuck up like I fucked up like a whole batch of the tendies. Like the first batch of tendies, just all me. I ate all of it, dude. Did not even care. And you know how like when you go to these sorts of events, you're like, oh, you never want to be the first guy to like, you know, crack open the seal. You don't want to be the first guy that eats the food. Fuck no. I was the first guy. I was like, don't care. I don't know anybody here. I have no obligations. I don't need to feel, there's no like cute girls around or anything. Like there's no, I feel zero reason to like, you know, maintain the presence that I'm a normal human being. Okay. I'm a presentable human being. I was like, fuck that. I'm going buck wild. Everybody's drinking anyway. I'm not drinking because, you know, those are calories that I could be filling up with chicken tendies. So no, of course I'm not going to fucking put empty calories in my body like beer or I don't know, whatever assortment of alcoholic beverages they have. So I'm just fucking crushing tendies, dude. Okay. Yeah. So wait, what does this mean? As soon as I get anywhere, damn, I kind of want to leave. I mean, it's true. So, you know, I go buck wild on the tendies and then like, you know, the game starts. And before the game starts, there's all these like things, you know, oh my God, 9/11, you know, these are all the fucking military members. These are all the cops, 9/11, 9/11, 9/11, 9/11. And then the national anthem. And dude, they're like, they did a, you know, moment of silence for the victims of 9/11. I'm in the back. Like everybody's in the front now. They're watching all the festivities. I'm just like, okay, less action on me, less attention on me. That's chicken tendy time. So I'm using the available time frame where there's like less attention to the back. Like I'm just by myself in the back, just like literally gobbling up as many tendies as I possibly can. Like, yeah, those were the stealth tendies, and those tendies are the ones that, you know, those calories don't even count. So it's fine. You know, there's like no one saw it. If a tree falls in the middle of nowhere and no one hears it, like, did it actually make a sound? No. If you eat a fucking tendy while everyone is listening to the 9/11 memorial and paying attention, does it count? No, it doesn't. And honestly, like everyone all the veterans would want me to eat the tendies. Like, let's be real. All the veterans that have passed away in combat, like whatever, they wanted me. They died so I could eat the chicken tendies during the 9/11 memorial. Okay, and that's what they would have wanted. That's what they would have done, and I am, you know, doing it for them in many ways. So I would literally expect them to do the same thing. So anyway, so in many ways, what I was doing is the patriotic thing, and like what you guys are doing, criticizing my chicken tendy habits, you're being unpatriotic. So anyway, I'm fucking gobbling these tendies, right? And then the national anthem comes on and they're like, take your hats off. And Austin literally keeps checking back with me. He's the only motherfucker who keeps looking back to see like, what's going on? What are you doing? He's like, take your hat off. Take your hat off. I'm like, no, my hands are fucking dirty with tendy juice right now. I'm not going to take my fucking hat off. What are you, crazy? Like, I'm not going to touch my hat with like, I got barbecue on my fucking fingers. Like, you know, I'm not going to put barbecue on my hat, dude. No shot. So it's like, take your hat off. And dude, I swear to God, dude, Austin, he was going buck wild. Okay, when I say Austin was like losing his shit during the national anthem, I mean it. Like he was just like, yeah. Like, what are you doing, bro? Like, who fucking does that? It's so embarrassing. He was like, he fucking loves the national anthem. It's like, it doesn't even slap, doesn't even sound good. And here's Austin just like, fuck yeah, like national anthem. I'm the biggest fan, dude. Like, name 5 of his albums. You can't. Okay? You literally can't name 5 of the fucking best top 5 songs of the national anthem. And here he is fucking losing his shit. Okay? No one else is losing their shit because, you know, it's California. And, you know, he finally comes over. He's like scolding me a little bit. Like, I mean, he's like jokingly scolding me. He's like, I can't believe it. You didn't fucking, you didn't take your hat off. You weren't singing. You didn't put your hand on your heart. I'm like, yeah, no, I don't give a fuck, dude. Get out of here. So anyway, yeah, it's a one-hit wonder. So then we sit down, we're watching, you know, we watch the whole game and shit. And the rest of the game was like, all right. I mean, the Rams just fucking destroyed. What was it? Is it the Cubs or the Bears? I don't even fucking know what the name of the team is. I know it's one of those Chicago teams, okay? And goddamn, dude, like, heck yeah. I mean, just absolutely fucking destroyed him. Like, just holy shit, dude. Embarrassing. I mean, pathetic display, really. And there were just people going crazy. I love America, dude. I really do. I mean, obviously this happens all around the world, but like, sporting events are so fun because people just go insane. Like, it's an opportunity for like these fucking mid-level, you know, managers and shit to get with their friends away from the women, obviously, to just be insane. Okay. And it has nothing to do with like actually watching the sport. Because I feel like there's a lot of players on the fucking field in football. There's like so many players I can't keep up when I'm sober, right? So I know these motherfuckers have no idea what's going on because they're hammered, dude. Like, they're hammered. There's no shot. You don't know what fucking route they're running. You don't know what the O-line is doing. You don't know where the fucking quarterback, you barely can see where the quarterback's going. You know what I mean? Like, you're just hammered and you're just dancing. Okay? You're at that point, you're just hammered and you're just dancing and you're having fun with your boys. And there was a guy that was doing just that. And I need to show you this guy. Okay, because I documented it. It was incredible. You follow my Instagram already, you've already seen this, but like
2 months
old. I mean, I love this man, dude. This is a fucking hero, okay? I wish I caught them earlier. This guy was going crazy. And you know, like, these are like $500 tickets. So like, these motherfuckers are rich, you know what I mean? They're not like poor people. They're like dropping a fucking stack to just like get buck wild. So you know they're like actual accountants and shit, you know what I mean? Actually, I don't know what the fucking tickets are. They're probably very expensive, but they're much more than 500. Law, wait, really? Why?
Let's go,
why is it so expensive? There's like 80,000 seats. What the fuck? Anyway, so that's the situation. That was what was going on. They were just going crazy. You have box seats? No. Our seats were way more. Our seat. I don't know what the fuck our seats are. I don't have any idea how much they. Hassan was saying, whose house? Ram's house the entire game. Don't let him fool you. The guy was having the time of his life. No, I mean, I enjoyed it. I definitely was not saying that, but I enjoyed it. It was the first game in the new stadium. Plus, it was a nationally televised game. Still insane, though. No, the stadium is fucking nuts, dude. The stadium is nuts. The TV screens on top of the stadium are just insane. Like, you know what's really fucked up? First of all, Austin had the audacity to just be like,
hassle.
This is socialism would never be able to get you this. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? It's like stadiums are the closest we've ever reached to socialism. When has a stadium ever been fucking built without like just straight up government funding? It is literally just socialism in the purest fucking sense of the word. Okay, so that's insane to just make that. To say that, like, you know, capitalism built a fucking stadium ever is hilarious.
It's 10.
They're literally taxpayer funded.
And NBs.
Okay. But also, the most disgusting part about fucking stadiums are like how nice they are. The only thing that is nice in the United States of America are our fucking stadiums, dude. I saw you on TV. There's no shot you saw me on TV. The only thing that is nice in the United States of America are our fucking stadiums, dude. Like, and guess what? Every single part of that fucking stadium, with the exception of just the stadium. Oh, SoFi was all privately funded? Okay. I was wrong. I guess it was capitalism that built SoFi Stadium. But he wants tax breaks for it. So, the worst thing is, like, the moment that you leave the stadium, though, you just are reminded of, like, how awful everything is. Because you fucking build, you sit in this, like, $5 billion monstrosity, and everything is, like, decked out the wazoo, and it's awesome. And then you walk outside, and it's, like, massive parking lot that connects to the fucking forum. That parking lot is also fucking full. There's just so much traffic because everyone has to drive to the stadium. There's no other way to, like, get there. There's good luck if you ever want to get an Uber. Uber gave me a $5. I forgot that I was still looking for Ubers near the stadium. By the time I got home, Uber apologized and gave me $5 off because they just simply had not been able to get me an Uber. That was an hour after we had left the stadium. Like, luckily, Austin's manager was, he drove. Got to walk a few blocks away to order an Uber, more likely to get one? Yes. Here's a man who has literally never been in Los Angeles and has no idea what he's talking about. Wow, dude, what a brilliant fucking take. Guess what? It doesn't matter, okay? Uber literally has an entire area trapped in that situation. It's Uber in Los Angeles. Walking in Los Angeles is nearly fucking impossible. There's literally just no walkways. Okay? Like, and we still walked. We walked like an insane amount. We walked like a fucking mile to get to the car. And even then, you would have to walk like 2 fucking miles away from the stadium for the Uber to, like, actually get you out of the stadium, like, radius. A mile is an insane amount. A mile in fucking Los Angeles is an insane amount because you're not walking a mile through, like, nice fucking walkways. You're walking a mile through, like, a parking lot, dodging cars and shit through this bumper to bumper traffic. Anyway, there's literally no sidewalks in LA. Take a bus, homeowner. Yeah, totally. So there's no decent public transportation out of the stadium.
Football is lame.
It just sucks. It completely sucks. There's no decent public transportation in Los Angeles anyway, but there's certainly no decent transportation out of the stadium as well. It's fucking dog shit. On that note, we gotta get started. It's like I've been fucking talking about my experiences here, but there's so much going on. We got so much to cover. I should probably get into it a little bit. What the fuck are you even saying? I go to LA almost every weekend, and there's plenty of sidewalks. Lol, take the tram for transportation. No, of course Los Angeles has sidewalks, dude. But there's a difference between, like, walkability and, like, sidewalks designed in a grid system for, you know, big enough sidewalks that you can, like, easily and comfortably fucking walk. For blocks and blocks and blocks on end versus sidewalks that are just there because, you know, they were just like, all right, we'll just put, like, some sidewalks here, you know, so you can walk from the parking lot to your store. Something funny you mentioned about not being able to use your phone. Most stadiums have cell sponsors, and they will specifically use extra towers with the sponsors so they only get service. T-Mobile does this at NASCAR events. Wait, that's why everyone with Verizon were just, like, blasting off easily, but I have AT&T, Austin has Verizon, and he had full fucking bars and service. I had full bars with AT&T and I had no service. It doesn't make any sense. How do you have fucking full bars and no service, dude? But I don't understand why the Uber can't get in. Please explain, lol. Because in Los Angeles, there's a significant problem with Ubers because everyone is, like, you know, Uber is dog shit.
Hey, Arjan.
And you get paid nothing. So most people are like, yeah, fuck it. I'm just going to go to deliver groceries. I don't have to deal with people and I get paid better. So most people switched over to grocery delivery and they're just not doing fucking Ubers or Lyfts. So there's never enough Uber drivers available. And also on top of that, there's never enough Uber drivers available. And like they literally will be like 45 minutes for an Uber. And then you wait and then like 5 minutes right as the fucking Uber driver is like coming towards you. You've waited for 40 minutes. 5 minutes out, the Uber driver just cancels. And then it starts looking for a new Uber, and then you can't find it. You can't find the new Uber. There's no new Uber. It's just the worst fucking experience, dude. I hate it. I hate it so much. And the fees are ridiculous in LA too. I mean, not that luckily that's not a thought that crosses my mind anymore. That was definitely a massive problem for me back in the day. But a big QAnon woman died of COVID in the hospital, received bomb threats. That makes sense. But you have a car? No. Yeah, I do. But like, I didn't want to drive. My homies and I literally missed the whole wedding ceremony because it took 2 hours to get an Uber. People in LA will be drunk driving more because of the Uber shit. Yeah. Yeah. Good luck trying to get a refund on the Uber too. You will never get an Uber refund. Isn't this the kind of crossing the picket line? Schumer buying a coffee in support of Starbucks workers trying to unionize? I mean, I guess. Wait, what? I picked up a coffee for SB Workers United this morning. Wait, no, he didn't cross the picket line, dude. What? What are you talking about? He's literally fucking... What? No, he's like... He's showing support to the Buffalo Starbucks stores working to start unions, dude. I don't know if he paid for the coffee. I don't know what he did. Anyway, that's actually not even a joke. That's kind of huge, dude. That's actually, with respect to like America, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer coming out in support of like unionization efforts is like a change in the attitudes in a big way within the Democratic Party, even if it's fucking symbolic. Yeah, it just kind of shows that the bar is literally on the ground or underneath the ground, that a little tweet is groundbreaking. I mean, yeah, an acknowledgement of like unionization efforts is considered groundbreaking. Yeah, it's pretty thoughts and prayers, isn't it? I mean, at this stage, they're organizing. So getting the word out is like one of the fucking key things that, yes, labor organizers would expect. Obviously, he's in a separate position. On top of that, in a position of power, tremendous power. So he could be agitating for the PRO Act, which he kind of is. So, you know, I'll give him that too. But it's not bad. It's not a bad thing. In the way that the chatter, you're just angry. It's understandable that you're angry, but you know, this is not a bad thing. This is a good thing. Okay, so I had an Uber driver drive onto a sidewalk and miss a turn, which ended up taking me 25 minutes out of the way. Going to a doctor's appointment that I was heading to, the guy started getting angry at me and was immediately terrified for my life. After he eventually got me to my appointment 35 minutes late because he was unable to drive for some reason, I was given a full refund and they assured me he was let go from driving. What? I mean, it's probably not a bad thing if he was fucking driving over sidewalks. I don't know, but that's an interesting experience that you have with Uber. I've never had like a good experience with Uber, like Uber corporate. I mean, a 1972 MIT study predicted that rapid economic growth would lead to societal collapse in the mid 21st century. A newspaper shows we're unfortunately right on schedule. I mean, don't worry, guys. The welfare state's gonna fucking stop that from happening. It's okay. Time for the hyper online left to accept that progressive pressure has actually shifted the Biden admin. It shifted it like literally marginally, so marginally that it's not like, I don't think anyone should take credit for that. I don't think anyone should like fucking pat themselves on the back. Like, these shifts are so tiny and so fractured and so marginal that it doesn't even matter ultimately in the grand scheme of things when you look at a larger, more comprehensive problem that we're facing, whether it's like complete societal collapse as a consequence of cataclysmic climate change or economic collapse as a consequence of income inequality and wealth inequality getting to a point where like the Gilded Age looks better than now. Scoop, Biden has told Schumer and Pelosi to prepare to pressure moderate Dems. Yeah, this is like, I read this yesterday. Like, this came out yesterday. Biden has told Schumer and Pelosi to prepare to pressure moderate Dems to change the filibuster in order to pass a new voting rights law. Chuck, you tell me when you need me to start making phone calls, Biden said. Yeah, how about last year, motherfucker? What do you mean? Yeah, I'm starting to think about what to do with respect to these filibusters. Okay, I'm the luckiest man in the world to have a wife who backs the blue at home while I fight for our Republican Washington. Your wife is definitely getting backed by the blue at home, no doubt. This is why Twitter is fun. Really tired of your wife, girlfriend, whatever woman is getting fucked by someone else. Ha ha ha. Like what? Yeah, it is a I bet it was a ride to remember. Oh, Jesus Christ. No, it's still pretty funny. There's nothing misogynistic about a woman seeking alternative methods to actually come. It is honorable. It is the right thing to do. You should all look for it, ladies in the chat. I respect cops. My wife's boyfriend is a cop. Why are they all leaning forward like that? Yeah, what's going on in this photo? They're all like, they all got a fucking forward lean. They all got the Trump lean, dude. There was a Larry Elder. There was a Larry Elder, Rose McGowan presser where she sided with Larry Elder. So there's that. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. News in the QAnon world today. Veronica Wolski, a COVID denier known for hanging QAnon signs on bridges, died of COVID last night. QAnon believers led by Linwood had been deluging the hospital with demands that she receive ivermectin. Cops were called last night amid bomb threats. That's nice. That's a really quick way of, ensuring that a person who's like probably going to die dies swiftly. Like, yeah, fuck the hospital up. Yeah, stop the hospital from being able to treat your friend. Here are the calls Trump made as he tried to steal an election from yesterday. Wait.
That's right. It's time for another anti-vax story. This time it's Josh, who on May 7th said, "I trust my immune system, not a shot. My DNA, my choice." Then on August 16th, he said, "Just because someone isn't afraid of COVID doesn't mean he or she doesn't believe in it. He or she understands the risk, but doesn't prioritize fear over life." The very next day, he posts this: "Don't worry, I've had both my shots." Oh, hysterical, Josh. Then on August 20th in the morning, he says, "I am way more afraid of Joe Biden in the White House than I am of COVID-19. Who else agrees?"
That's right. Who agrees with me, boys? Am I right?
And on the evening of August 24th, it's a pie chart. Things I'm worried about: losing my constitutional rights or COVID-19. And there's his little sliver for COVID-19.
I think what a lot of people don't realize is that, like, you lose your constitutional rights when you die. Like, people will be like, "Oh, dude, I'm fucking, I'm worried, like, this COVID vaccine is going to make me infertile, blah, blah, blah." It's like, well, if you're dead, then, you don't have to worry about any of that. So I guess in a many ways, like, it fixes that problem for you.
Josh isn't afraid. But on September 3rd, things take a turn. Well, people, I'm in the ER with COVID. They can't get my O2 levels to stay up above 60, so now they're talking about moving to ICU and putting me on a vent. I am so scared. Can everyone please say a prayer for me? And just yesterday, Josh's wife wrote this on Facebook after he passed away.
What the fuck? Please say a pray for me and my family, please. He was a great man. He meant the world to me and his kids. RIP Josh, I love you and I will miss you, baby. Wait, why is he smiling? Oh my god, his Bitmoji has Hunter, his Bitmoji has like the fucking tree hunter, shit. Camo. Bro, he's fucking dead. Why is he smiling? Why'd you make his Bitmoji smile with a birthday cake, dude? That's so fucking weird.
From COVID-19.
A clip of Linwood calling the hospital for the ivermectin thing?
Yes, tell me your name again.
This is
JP. JP. My name is Len Wood. I'm a lawyer. I'm calling you from South Carolina. You have a patient in your hospital named Veronica Wolski. The individual with her medical power of attorney is demanding that she be released immediately. There's an ambulance. Wait, I'm not through yet. There's an ambulance waiting for her outside. There is a medical doctor waiting for her to treat her. If you do not release her, you're going to be guilty of murder. Do you understand what murder is?
Bro, this dude still has a license, dude. Called up a hospital, introduced himself as an attorney, and told the operator they'll be charged with murder because they refused to dispense ivermectin to an anti-vaxxer pal who got COVID. Anti-vaxxers are now experimenting with fighting COVID by ingesting betadine, an antibacterial topical solution used for cuts and scrapes in douches. And in douches, betadine is highly toxic and poisonous when ingested. Horse paste is the old hat, probably thanks to media attention. So the crackpots need a new quack remedy. That's right. You are what you ingest, brother. And I'm a fucking douchebag, so let me drink it. Wait, is that what I put on my fingy? It could be. Like the antibacterial thing that I have on my... I think it's literally the fucking shit that I put on my finger, dude. That's right, brother. I'm one of them hogs too. Yee. I'll be ingesting it later, okay? That's right. I'm putting Neosporin At the Ron DeSantis press conference today, guests claimed that the COVID vaccine changes your RNA, which is absolutely false. Yeah, that's great. I'm putting this longer clip here so you can see that DeSantis did not correct this misinformation, which is prevalent in the anti-vax movement.
Changes your RNA. So for me, that's a problem. So I'm here with you folks.
I love that, like, the way that he says it is so funny. He's like, for me, that's a problem. Oh, yeah, dude? I mean, it would probably be a problem for a lot of people if that was the case, okay? For, like, the fucking billions of people that have gotten this so far, I see that being a slight issue, not just for you, my friend, if that was a real thing, of course.
Folks, we don't want to have the vaccine. It's about our freedom and liberty. It's not about the vaccine. They're taking away our freedom and liberty little by little. They're using the vaccine for cover. Last year, they took away our religious rights. They are not defending our freedom of speech. And this is just one way to take us to the next step. So thank you for coming out today, and thank you, Governor.
Christine Dam has worked for the city of Gainesville for the last 10 years.
It's great. Lauren Boebert. Yo, Boebert's getting hotter, dude. I'm sorry. Like, I don't know what the fuck's going on here, but Lauren Boebert declares that Christians must rise up and remove ungodly leaders from power and replace them with righteous men and women of God. You know, ones that have fucking, like, exposed themselves to minors, like her and her husband.
Lord God Almighty, on your side, I need you to use your voice and speak. What if Jesus showed up today and said, from this point forward, everything you say, you will have it? He said it.
No, I take it back. It's fucking crazy, dude.
That's exactly what he said to us. So what are we saying? Are we going to sit and agree with the enemy? Are we going to agree with what the enemy is doing? Are we going to sit back and complain and murmur? Are we going to speak life into this nation? Are we going to speak victory?
He is a woman lit, by the way. Straight up. Dude, I've been watching Righteous Gemstones, and, like, this shit is so perfect. It works so perfectly. For the record, Righteous Gemstones is like the Falwell family's, like, experiences through a comedic lens, and not like a one-to-one comparison. Obviously, it's not like a based on a true story type ordeal, but it is pretty wonderful. I love it. I fucking love, dude.
That God removes these unrighteous politicians, these corrupt, crooked politicians, and installs righteous men and women of God. You have the God kind of faith, and that faith speaks. That faith speaks to mountains, those impossible, immovable situations. And I think there's some mountains that need to hear your voice. These mountains don't need to hear your pastor's voice or the preachers on TV. God bless them. Thank you for them. But it's time the church speaks up. The church has relinquished too much authority to government. We should not be taking orders by the government, from the government. The government needs to be looking at the church and saying, how do we do this effectively?
I love the people that are saying, like, so much for the separation of church and state. Like, guys, there is no, like, this is America. Like, what do you, wake up, okay? There is no separation of church and state. It's not like a thing that we have. Okay, just like there's no constitutional protection for the marginalized, even women that want to get fucking abortions. Like, none of that shit is real, okay? The only thing that's consistent is death, taxes, and the top of the hour ad break, okay? Yeah, that's right, motherfuckers. But let's get started. Let's get started on the fucking Themasius playlist, dude. What the newly classified 9/11 files reveal.
3 presidents joined the ceremony at Ground Zero in Manhattan, and on Saturday night, The tribute in light, a look back at the New York City skyline before the attacks. That was hours after the ceremonies. The Biden administration began releasing newly classified documents on the 9/11 investigation, and our Chief Justice correspondent Pierre Thomas is in Washington with the story. Good morning, Pierre.
George, good morning. Even as the nation mourned those who died in the horrific attacks of 20 years ago, today there are new questions about whether the Saudi government played a role in the planning of 9/11.
Family members of those lost on 9/11 are still demanding answers about the Saudi government, never forgetting that 15 of the 19 hijackers were from Saudi Arabia.
For 20 years, the Saudi government has relied upon the United States government to bury the fact.
I just want to point out that, once again, everybody's favorite liberal, Barack Obama, unironically was against this move, against the families, the victims of 9/11, suing Saudi Arabia. Obama, in an awkward twist, becomes Saudi Arabia's defender. Long a critic, the president now finds himself in the uncomfortable spot of protecting the austere desert monarchy from Congress. Obama has promised to veto a bill that Congress passed unanimously, allowing the families of 9/11 victims to sue Saudi Arabia over alleged links to the 2001 terror attacks. That's right, baby. That's right. That's Obama. My man, taking a brave stance. Taking a fucking brave stance, dude. Finally defending the defenseless. The kingdom of Saudi Arabia. When a bill is unanimous, your veto doesn't mean shit, by the way, which is the hilarious part of this. Like you didn't have to do that. Like, this is purely symbolic. You understand? Because when a bill is unanimous and you fucking veto it, then Congress can go back and override that veto. And if it's a unanimous bill, then you literally have nothing. Like, you are purely objecting out of symbolism. Okay? And my man did that. My man really was like, I'm going to put myself out there. And guess what? If you like your state sponsor of terrorism, you can keep it. If you'd like to sue the government of Saudi Arabia, you can't keep it. All right, let's keep going.
And protect them and hide their culpability from the world. And that ended last night.
Responding to the pressure from the families who've sued the Saudi government, the FBI has declassified an investigative report detailing contacts between Saudi officials and some of the 9/11 hijackers. The release came Saturday night, just hours after the anniversary ceremonies ended. The newly released documents, following an executive order from President Biden, detailed how a Saudi diplomat living in Los Angeles assisted two of the hijackers once they arrived in the U.S.
What?
Described at the time as two very significant people.
That's crazy, man. That's wild.
And according to the FBI's report, another Saudi government employee spent the night in a hotel with another man connected to one of Osama bin Laden's top lieutenants.
Stop it. Stop. Who could have predicted this? That's crazy. Man, all of this stuff. I mean, I must be a conspiracy theorist, right? For saying all this stuff. Oh, wait, never mind. Oh no, it's the truth. Oh, wow. That's wild, dude.
We're very excited because this is the tip of the iceberg. You know, more is going to be coming.
But the Saudi government is flatly rejecting any notion of involvement, saying any allegation that Saudi Arabia is complicit in the September 11th attacks is categorically false.
The 9/11
They're her royal family members that were directly funding these efforts, okay?
Commission did not find any conclusive evidence of Saudi government involvement, but some of the 9/11 families are hoping with more documents being declassified, the case will be made. George?
And we will be seeing those in the coming days.
Yeah, totally, dude. Totally. Operation Encore was yet another instance where the government was like, let's take a look at all of our intelligence communities and see what level of involvement occurred with a foreign ally in one of the most devastating attacks that has ever occurred on U.S. soil by a foreign nation. Oh, never mind. We found no wrongdoing. We investigated ourselves and found no wrongdoing. Like, the only thing that we will find potentially that I think could be interesting as far as like new information here could be that because there is like conflict within the FBI and CIA, there will be some potential finger pointing, and that might release a trove of information that we otherwise would never have access to. Because the FBI will say it's the CIA's fault, and the CIA will say it's the FBI's fault. And that is the only opportunity we might have to, like, get some fucking info out of this situation. But other than that, like, good luck. President Biden is here in my beautiful state of California, Jack. That's right. He's going to fucking California to see the wildfire damage and also campaign for that sexy beast, Governor Gavin Newsom. 2 days until the recall election, Jack. Or no, recall elections tomorrow, Jack.
California, though, high-stakes recall election for Governor Gavin Newsom. President Biden heading to the Golden State ahead of the final votes, and our Matt Gubman is in Los Angeles with the very latest. Matt, good morning to you.
Hey, TJ, good morning. At first, this recall seemed...
Do you think he'll be recalled? No.
...like a sideshow. In fact, there are 46 candidates vying for Gavin Newsom's job, one of whom has been campaigning alongside a real live Kodiak bear. But over the summer, polls showed that that threat was very real. And so Democrats have been spending big on ads and calling in the cavalry. This morning, California Governor Gavin Newsom making the case that Tuesday's recall election isn't just do or die for him.
This election is a matter of life and death. Public health is on the ballot.
In the fight of his political life, Newsom calling in the Democrats' heaviest hitters.
Hello, Californians.
Last week, it was former President Barack Obama and Vice President Kamala Harris.
We will not give up.
And today, here outside Los Angeles, he'll be hitting the campaign trail with the president as a final push to save his job. Newsom won the 2018 gubernatorial election with a whopping 62% of the vote. But California law allows a governor to face a recall vote if a petition is signed by just a fraction of registered voters. Vying to replace him are 46 challengers, including TV personality and former Olympic gold medalist Caitlyn Jenner and businessman John Cox, who's been campaigning with a bear by his side. Conservative talk radio host Larry Elder is by far the leading candidate. Our Zoreen Shaw sat down with him over the weekend.
One of the first things I'm going to do is repeal the requirement for state workers that they have to be tested once a week and they have to wear masks at work.
Newsom has faced criticism for his handling of COVID and California's record fires the past 2 years. Your main opponent in this recall, Larry Elder, does not blame climate change for these fires. He blames essentially yours and the government's incompetence.
Yeah, well, he thinks climate change is a myth. He claimed that climate change is a crock. He actually wants to double and increase more offshore oil drilling, more fracking, as if
Gonna be tough to do. Gonna be tough to do. Outdoing Gavin Newsom on fracking, brother, in California. That's a cap. Okay, I don't know if Larry Elder knows if he can do that, because Mr. V-neck over here, he doesn't have a problem with fracking. Let's be real, okay? In the state of California, come on, dude. Gavin Newsom is a fan for sure. It's a deep-ass V-neck, dude. Holy shit.
somehow that's going to solve this challenge. So he lives in a completely different world, devoid of the reality here.
And because of a quirk in California recall election law, Newsom has to take at least 50% of the vote to keep his job. If he doesn't meet that threshold, his opponent could take his job with significantly less than that. And whoever's governor of California could choose a replacement for 88-year-old Democratic Senator Dianne Feinstein. And right now, the Senate is split. If a Republican governor wins, that could change. Amy?
So Newsom has banned fracking permits starting in 2024. Interesting time. But that is in 2021. Okay. So here it is. I'm going to show you two different things. Okay. I'm going to show you two different things. Okay. Here. On the one hand, you got California's governor seeking to ban new fracking and halt oil production, but not immediately. Okay. 2024 is when he wants to ban new fracking permits. And then here you have in 2020, with new permits, Newsom is ramping up fracking in California with 360 new fracking events approved so far this year. What? Wait, what? I'm so confused, but then here, back in 2019, Gavin Newsom criticizing increasing fracking permits. Okay, wait, let's recall. No, motherfucker, you're not recalling Gavin Newsom. The point is like, homie out here is you know, doing his very best, okay, to advocate for both sides of the situation while simultaneously taking a posturing position on what we must do to combat climate change, okay? On the other side, you got someone who's probably going to do the exact same shit, but not even offer lip service or even stop or announce plans to fucking ban hydraulic fracturing or fracking by 2024 and consider phasing out oil production statewide by 2045. Literally lease all the land and ban new projects once all the land is gone to look like you care. It's like JFK guaranteeing his personal delivery of Cuban cigars before signing the embargo. Do you think your audience is maybe too dumb for you to criticize Newsom while still opposing the recall? How about I don't give a fuck, okay? Shut the fuck up. This is the thing I hate the most about, like, annoying liberals is like, maybe your audience is too dumb to understand that you're criticizing Gavin Newsom, so maybe you should hold off on that until the recall. Maybe you should hold off on sucking my cock for the rest of the day, okay? You dumbass. Nothing triggers me more than fucking posturing liberals who come in here and are like, Sweaty, maybe you shouldn't fucking criticize Gavin Newsom right before the fucking recall. It's literally true. I don't give a fuck if it's true. You're being pretty irresponsible by criticizing Gavin Newsom. I don't care. How about that? That's what people said about criticizing Biden before the election. Exactly. Liberals don't want you to fucking just, like, vote, okay? Liberals always say, like, I want you to vote. I want you to just vote. I want you to just vote. Just vote. No, that's not enough. They want you to vote, and they want you to lie about, like, you know, how excited you are to vote. They literally want you to just, like, fucking lie. And it's not enough that you just go out and vote, which I do, okay? It's not enough that you go out and vote, advocate to vote, which I also do. But then also on top of that, I need to, like, adjust my coverage and massage it to the fucking needs of the Democratic Party when they are routinely failing to fucking deliver on the promises. If you think it's irresponsible for me to fucking adequately cover Gavin Newsom's fucking back and forth inconsistent attitude on fracking, then how about you reach out to Gavin Newsom and be like, dude, can you have a consistent point on fracking so that, you know, it's not so easy to fucking shit on? No, liberals don't want you to fucking keep anyone accountable. There's no, and me holding Gavin Newsom accountable is not a real thing either, dude. It's fucking Gavin Newsom. Are you crazy? Like, what, you think this community of 30,000 people that are, like, aged all the way from all around the world, not just America, and definitely not just California, aged anywhere from 14 to fucking 30, they're gonna be able to fucking change the outcome of an election? Like, that's so silly, it's so pathetic, it's so stupid. Shut up. Here's some more tidbits on the Republican strategy for the record. The Republican strategy for the record now is just like saying, oh, looks like we're gonna lose. All right, well, we'll start saying the election is stolen before the election is over.
Larry Elder, the leading Republican candidate, would not commit to accepting the results of the election.
Again, whether or not you win or lose, will you accept the results of the election tomorrow?
I think we all ought to be looking at election integrity, no matter whether you're a Democrat, an independent, or a Republican. Let's all make sure that the election is a fair election. So let's all work together, no matter what the results are, to make sure that the results are valid and legitimate, and everybody who voted should have voted. Let's all do that together.
Is that a commitment to accept the results of the election tomorrow?
Let's all do that together. Let's all work together on both sides of the aisle to make sure that the election is a fair election.
Now, you did not hear him give Jacob Soboroff. Larry Elder, the
motherfucker's saying it's rigged already. That's how you know he knows he's gonna lose, you know? Oh, we'll get back to the ivermectin stuff in a second, because ivermectin posters just wild in the fuck out. But here are some more updates on the recall election. Bombshell accusation by Rose McGowan, totally ignored by liberal media, of course. Rose McGowan, who is one of the brave women that came out in the whole, like, that kickstarted the Me Too movement against Harvey Weinstein, also came out and I guess endorsed Larry Elder yesterday in a conference. Let's watch.
Heading off to California to rally for Governor Newsom, fighting for his political life ahead of tomorrow's recall.
That's right. There you see Marine One headed for Andrews, where he's going to get on the big 747. Here with his final pitch to voters as the recall election wraps up tomorrow, California gubernatorial candidate and Republican frontrunner out west, Larry Elder. Larry, good morning to you.
Morning, how are you?
We're doing okay. So we just saw Joe Biden. He's in Marine One. He's heading your way. Why does Gavin Newsom need him?
Well, the reason Gavin Newsom needs him is because he's done a lousy job as governor. By the way, a lot of people have weighed in. Barack Obama has weighed in. Bernie Sanders has weighed in. Senator Warren has weighed in. And they never say the following magical words. Gavin Newsom has done a good job for the people of California. They can't defend his record on crime. They can't defend his record on homelessness. They can't defend his record on the way he...
Yeah, because it sucks. But you know what else sucks? You, motherfucker. That's how bad you are. Larry Elder is so fucking disastrously bad, so incompetent, and also on top of that, just a total charlatan that, like, the PSL is organizing in California against the recall, okay? Think about that. PSL, like, this is the socialist party that routinely runs third-party candidates against Democrats, organizing against Larry Elder. The DSA and PSL are both organizing to ensure that the recall goes, the recall is overturned.
Ignored science and shut down this state while his own children were enjoying in-person.
I thought no one was bashing his work. What? No one thinks. Dude, Gavin Newsom he's all right. Okay, in many ways he's all right. A lot of people have fucking lost their minds because they think that, like, during COVID, like, what he did was absolutely unacceptable. He's done a lot of, like, fucking he's done a lot of aesthetic shit that is bad, like the whole French Laundry incident where he was he did the shutdowns, but then him and his friends, like, went and had fucking dinner, of course, because he's a piece of shit elitist garbage person, right? Also, on top of that, Larry Elder is correct. Gavin Newsom's the way that Gavin Newsom's dealt with homelessness is fucking horrible. Okay, absolutely unacceptable. Why? Because he cares more about the interests of the housing market and he cares more about developers than he does about, like, actually providing permanent shelter for the homeless. You know who's not going to fucking do anything about that and only make it worse? Fucking Larry Elder. Okay, so the alternative is never like, yeah, this person is bad, so we should just elect a Republican instead to make it even worse. Like, that's so stupid. But overall, the reasons why people are fucking criticizing Gavin Newsom, some are correct, okay? Some are correct, like his lack of interest in dealing with homelessness in California. That's a big one, okay? That the opposition is not providing a viable alternative to at all. But as far as, like, most people are shitting on him because, if you're leading the recovery efforts during a fucking pandemic, every one of your dissenters are going to attribute all of the wrong things that have happened within the pandemic to you. They're going to say, I couldn't go out and get a fucking $5 jalapeno popper from Applebee's, brother. And I can't do that because Gavin Newsom stopped me from doing that. Okay, that's like, here, I just explained fucking Bakersfield to you and why they hate Gavin Newsom, okay? Small businesses. Like, California has done some decent shit with respect to the rest of the fucking states. Our unemployment insurance is continuing, while many other states have stopped it. The eviction moratorium is continuing here in the state of California, while many other states have stopped it. There is direct funds coming back to the citizens of California as a consequence of the $50 billion surplus that California showed this year. So, there's the good and then there's the bad. The bad is there are significant problems that are not impossible to tackle, but there are significant problems that Gavin Newsom doesn't do a good enough job in dealing with, homelessness being the main one. Okay? But of course, the alternative isn't that, like, Larry Elder is going to solve the issues. He's not. He's going to make shit way, way worse.
Education while he was sitting up there at the French Laundry, ignoring the mask and the social distancing mandates that the very people who drafted the mandates were sitting there with him. He can't defend his record on the fact that people are leaving California for the first time in our state.
People are leaving California for the first time. Yeah, dude. Except it's not fucking rich people leaving California. It's people that are middle class and poor that are leaving California. And the reason why they're leaving California is because it is unaffordable to live in California. A problem that is contributing to the homelessness crisis. And also, on top of that, a problem that is not going to be solved by a fucking charlatan like Larry Elder.
States 170-year history. They can't defend his record on fire management. They can't defend his record on the fact that we're having rolling brownouts. They can't defend his record on the fact that we are running out of water because we haven't added to our water infrastructure system in about 40 years. They can't defend his record on anything. So none of these surrogates coming from outside California have uttered the following words: Gavin Newsom has done a good job for the people of California.
Yeah, it would be really hard for anyone.
So bad news about Gavin Newsom is that he's Gavin Newsom. Good news, he isn't Larry Elder. Yes.
To say that. I mean, I lived in California. The degradation of that state under his leadership is really quite apparent. You know, Larry, I'm really curious about, I know you've been working hard, and it looks like, you know, the fact that they're bringing in these big names, they are threatened by you and your candidacy. I'm worried about fraud. You know, when they found that meth addict with 300 ballots in his
Already, dude, already. I'm worried about fraud. Yeah. Hammer up the speech that, like, there's fraud. In a state like California, there needs to be fraud for a Republican to lose. Like, are you fucking psychotic? If Larry Elder won this recall, there would be a higher likelihood that there's fucking fraud than the other way around, okay? Let's be real. California has a shitload of Republicans. More than, like, 3 fucking red states combined, right? We got, like, 4 million Republicans here that voted, okay? That voted in the last election, 4 million plus. But also, we got like 8 million Democrats. So, the fuck? This notion that, like, that voted, by the way. So, this notion that, like, there's fraudulent. There's so many, 6 million Republicans that voted for Donald Trump. And how many, 11 million Democrats that voted for the Democrats in California? Yeah, like, good luck.
The trunk of his car. Are you hearing any other stories like that? And how worried?
What a shit fucking system where those 4 million Republicans don't have representation. Yeah, totally, dude. They totally don't have representation. Like, what? What do those 4 million or 6 million Republicans want that, like, Gavin Newsom hasn't given them? If anything, Gavin Newsom gives them better representation than us, you fucking dumb idiot. What do you want? You want him to say, like, you know, fucking trans people are immoral or something? Is that because that's the only representation that, like, the 6 million Republicans are looking for that they're not getting? Because everything else, like, what? They want more fracking? You got fracking. You want the housing market to consistently keep growing, like the housing prices to keep going up so that your, you know, main investment vehicle is protected. There you go. Gavin Newsom has done that for you. You want cops to keep getting funds and beef up their security so that, you know, black people in your neighborhood are brutalized if they ever accidentally come into your neighborhood. That's Los Angeles. That's California in general. So what? You want him to, the last thing that, like, Republicans want that Gavin Newsom's not giving them is that he's allowing homeless people to exist. Okay? He's allowing homeless people to survive on the streets, which is a fucking disgusting measure if you ask me. I think that is not an appropriate measure. I think it's a horrifying reality that we've subjected so many fucking people to. Psychotic. Oh yeah, just let them eat trash and live in fucking tents. And, like, we all just, like, literally look the other way and act like they don't exist when they're fucking screaming in pain in the middle of the fucking street. So that's it. That's, like, the only difference is that, like, a Republican will come in and, like, literally sweep the streets and toss out their tents and shit like that. And that's pretty much it. There's nothing else going on other than that a Republican would do that Gavin Newsom hasn't done for the Republicans. My dad says a lot of homeless people want to be homeless. How many do you think that it really is? What? No, that's not real at all, dude. What the fuck? Who? Motherfucker, no one wants to be homeless, dude. That's so dumb. Everyone wants to have shelter, okay? There's, like, 8 trust fund hippie kids that are anarchists that, like, want to be homeless, but only, like, on the condition that they can go back to Martha's Vineyard with their family every now and then. But outside of that, like, the overwhelming majority of homeless people do not want to be fucking homeless, dude. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard, dude.
Are you that might be part of this election?
I am worried about fraud, and we have a election integrity project all set up on my website, electelder.com. But I'll tell you something else they're worried about. They're worried about the fact that yesterday, Rose McGowan, the actress who accused Harvey Weinstein of rape, says that she received a phone call from Gavin Newsom's wife on behalf of Harvey Weinstein.
Trust fund anarchist, are you okay, bud? You sound dumb today. You know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm talking about the hipster hippies that, like, are trust fund babies themselves. Okay, they get a fucking PhD from Stanford and then they go slum it out for a couple years to, like, really understand the bohemian aesthetic more before getting a fucking Raytheon job. Okay, It is a very, very tiny fucking fraction. And it's not necessarily, the trustafarians. Okay, I'm talking about people like Grimes, exactly. It's, people living in Portland. I think he misunderstood. Some want to be on the streets rather than shelters. Yes. If that's the question, then that is true. A lot of homeless people would rather have their own space in a fucking tent and have their own stuff and have their own, dogs and whatnot and be able to continue doing drugs on the streets rather than a fucking shelter, because a shelter does not actually provide shelter. It's conditional shelter that certainly fucks over their liberties, that doesn't let them fucking bring their stuff, that doesn't let them have their dogs and shit, like that doesn't let them have their animals with them. So yes, shelters are not a good solution. It's not an adequate solution. The actual adequate solution is a housing first policy that immediately seeks to put people in permanent shelter, and only then can you start the process of like rehabilitation and whatnot. Of course, when I mention the stuff that they have, or their puppies and whatnot, most people laugh that off because they don't give a fuck, because they don't think, they've been conditioned into thinking that homeless people are not human beings their entire lives. So it's very difficult. They're like, oh, well, fuck their trash. Who cares about their fucking trash? Just live in a fucking shelter, bro. Like, no. You can fix California's homeless crisis by housing them in your spare bedrooms. Totally, dude. Yeah. Why don't you buy some small homes for those people? Yeah, yes. Individual acts of charity will certainly fix this problem, except it hasn't, and it won't, and you're delusional. For some reason, it's just like there's not enough magnanimous wealthy folks. Otherwise, this would be totally solved, dude. Yeah. Let's take a look at something here. There's some good. So maybe I can solve the homelessness problem, right? With one fucking a $2.7 million house, right? Oh wait, Gavin Newsom spent $12 billion. Man, that's crazy, dude. Wait, so even the government of California spending $12 billion hasn't been able to deal with the crisis. That's odd. How odd? How odd that a $12 billion proposal is not even enough to fucking deal with the homelessness problem. But one guy buying houses will probably, certainly, $3 million into a hotel would be nice to facilitate. Yeah, it would be nice. Except you're a fucking idiot. And you don't understand that I don't have $3 million, you fucking dumb moron. Okay? People literally, once again, expose themselves every time the House Andy conversation comes up, which is like, you think that, like, what? You think a bank's going to give me a fucking mortgage on nothing? Just so I put a fucking down payment so I can, like, what? Buy a hotel for homeless people? Like, are you stupid? Fuck. I mean, you are stupid, yes. You're a stupid person because you think that, like, I just bought a fucking house that's worth $3 million in straight cash. It's also psychotic that like people literally fucking reduce gigantic systemic problems back to like individual responsibility all the fucking time. Holy shit, Americans, wake the fuck up.
Weinstein's lawyer 6 months before the story blew up. And Gavin Newsom's wife asked Rose, quote, what can we do to make you happy? What can we do to make this story go away? Close quote. It is a bombshell. And so far, Washington Post, nothing. CNN, nothing. Can you imagine if that accusation had been made against me? Because during the campaign, I was accused of sexism. I would be talking about this from now until the day I die. But among the mainstream people, nobody seems to give a rip. That is a bombshell accusation that Gavin Newsom's wife called Rose McGowan 6 months before the Harvey Weinstein story blew up on behalf of Harvey Weinstein's lawyer and said, what can we do to make this story go away? And the mainstream media doesn't seem to care. Pourquoi?
It's shocking too that a woman in a gorilla mask would try to throw an egg at you. Thankfully, she has such a bad arm and so unathletic she missed it. And and they don't talk about it. They don't put it in the LA Times. I mean, it's
not true. Plenty of people talked about it. I thought it was hilarious.
Unbelievable that's on a story. Then you can have your opinion person say whatever they want to say, but that's new.
Rose McGowan went side by side with a dude who literally said, this woman is too ugly for me to rape, okay? Like, Larry Elder's defense for one of the sexual assault accusers was, he's too ugly. Too fucking ugly for me to sexually assault. Thank you, Rose McGowan, for you know, being a brave voice in and advocating for Larry Elder.
News, and it's ridiculous news, but it's news. Real quick.
Ryan, it is news, and the LA Times referred to me as the black face of white supremacy. And you're right about this woman.
Oh, he has referred to himself as that. Like, bro, this guy literally wrote a book called Stupid Black Men. Okay? Like, what do you mean? Stupid Black Men, how to play the race card and lose. He's against the civil rights movement. Like, what do you mean, dude? He literally said he would have voted against the Civil Rights Act. Okay, so yeah, he is literally judging a book by the cover, shaking my fucking head. I mean, I know Larry Elder better than you do, dumbass. You just found out about him yesterday. I fucking debated him like years ago. He is, unironically, much like many other black conservatives are, a blackface that defends white supremacy. That's it. That's the truth. I don't know why you're fucking crying about it. It's like literally the fucking truth. Here, let's hear what he had to say about fucking Trayvon Martin's murder.
Question. Do you think that Rachel Jeantel is stupid?
I think that I would rather have a George Zimmerman living in my neighborhood, and maybe if George Zimmerman were living in my neighborhood, we'd have fewer Oreo Castros. I thought we wanted people to be proactive.
That wasn't the question, Larry.
Larry Elder has never answered a question straight on. Like, he is like the number one. First of all, dude, you want more George Zimmermans in your neighborhood? Like, what? They're gonna murder your son too, dumbass. Do you forget that you're fucking black? Like, I don't understand. Like, what a psychotic take. The guy who like literally fucking signs Confederate flags and shit. Like, you think that's your ally, you fucking dumb idiot? He's gonna kill your son. You know? Is that what you want? He's gonna kill you. Is that what you want, dude? Nice.
I'm answering something different that ought to be answered.
Could you just answer my question?
George Zimmerman like he's some sort of criminal. He's not a criminal. He's
George
a guy
Zimmerman
who cares about his neighborhood.
shot dead an
He's a guy who
unarmed
cares about his
teenager.
neighborhood. He's a neighborhood watch guy. Don't you want people who are proactive? And there was crime in that neighborhood, Pierce. I live in South Central.
There wasn't crime from Trayvon Martin in that neighborhood.
The burglar bars are not on there because of George Zimmerman. They're on there because of the minority of thug in the community that's messing up everybody's image and reputation. This is why people profile.
American conservatives are so fucking pathetic and disgusting that they routinely make Piers Morgan look good. Can you imagine making Piers Morgan look good, dude? That is the biggest crime. I mean, that should literally be a crime. That should be a criminally charged act.
Instead of being angry at George Zimmerman, be angry.
Boy, bros, if you haven't left because I've been routinely, you know, and consistently making fun of you, think about that for a second. Like, this is what we have to deal with. Like, our guys... He's probably the biggest trash can to come out of the UK. And there's plenty of them, dude. Holy shit. Think about it. Our guys are so bad, they make Piers Morgan look good. That's nuts. That's fucking nuts, dude.
Angry at the minority of the thug who's committing these kinds of crimes.
Okay, if I could jump in again. So just to clarify, though, Trayvon Martin wasn't committing crime.
It was an unfortunate incident. Two people had preconceived notions about each other. It never should have happened. Doesn't make George Zimmerman.
Yeah, Trayvon Martin had a preconceived notion that, like, someone was armed and trying to murder him as he was on his way back home with fucking Skittles in his pocket, dude. What preconceived notion did he have, dude? It's just because he's fucking black that you advocate for his death as a teenager. It's such bullshit, dude. One of the most disgusting, scummy things you can fucking do in general makes it additionally scummy that you're doing it while also being black. So you use your fucking skin color and the intergenerational trauma that that you've been subjected to as a justifying factor in your defense of a white supremacist action. So nasty, dude. So fucking nasty. There's a special place in hell. If hell exists, there's a special place in hell for motherfuckers like this. Okay?
I'm a criminal. I used to work in the DA's office, Pierce. I'm telling you, it was a dog case, a reasonable doubt case. Nobody I know would have filed the case.
Yeah, well, we disagree, obviously, about that.
Yeah, I know a lot of racist people, and they would not have filed this case, Pierce.
I think it's completely wrong.
Obviously.
That George Zimmerman should get no punishment at all for killing an unarmed teenager.
He's got serious punishment. He can't go anywhere. Are you kidding? He's a marked man. Well, he's going to be sued civilly. He will never have a moment of peace. He killed somebody. Morally, he's got to deal with that, Pierce. He recognizes.
Oh, man, the morality, dude. Hey guys, remember when George Zimmerman was morally so fucking wrought with the murder of a young black male, dude? Let me just look at something here for a second. Let me see how morally wrought he was with the guilt. Muslim Free Gun Shop teams with George Zimmerman to sell Confederate flag pins. Seems real. Man, he seems real fucking sad about that, dude. Going for $65 million. George Zimmerman's gun is up for auction again. Man, I hate being morally distraught while selling Confederate flag, rebel flag art to raise legal fees, dude. He was so morally distraught that he was, I mean, this fucking scumbag, dude. Like, the shit that he did after, yeah. Does this look like a guy who was morally distraught when he signed a bag of Skittles, dude? Does that look like, because that was the only thing that Trayvon Martin was armed with. What is this? His net worth? Wait, how is his net worth $10 million? No shot. I don't believe that. I don't want to believe that. Is it the gun? His first painting sold for $100,000 on eBay in late December. Those sites are always wrong.
Woman that threw an egg at me. She's wearing a gorilla mask. I would be tempted to call it not even a mask, but I'd be called sexist if I said that. But maybe she's one of the 20,000 convicted felons that were released early under Gavin Newsom. Maybe she's one of the people that should be behind bars, but for the DA out here in LA.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, this is a guy I want to vote for. A guy who's like advocating to criminalize and also jail more people in the state of California, which has like the most overcrowded fucking prison system, dude. Holy shit. Jesus fucking Christ, dude. Are you kidding me, dude? That's why we're fucking voting no on the recall, okay? Do you understand? The more he speaks, the more you probably recognize why this recall is fucking completely morally bankrupt and idiotic. Do you get it? That was a blatantly racist attack. Word committed by a Republican to be headlines for weeks. Wait, what leads you to believe that was a blatantly racist attack? Looks fake as fuck. You don't consider this internet crap fake? Please maintain my perfect facade. Criticize away. They're gonna stuff the postal ballots anyway. Lol. What's wrong with waiting and seeing? Yo, whenever there's partnered streamers that come in here and say hog ass shit, I now legitimately worry. Or you're going down a dark path, Blaine's, partner streamer Blaine's. I'm letting you know. Except for Bow Bow, who is of course my designated troll and the best partner streamer. Nah, bruh, double standards ain't attractive. What double standards, dude? Fuck a dick leftist, this psychedelic Aaron. What's wrong with waiting and seeing what happens? Why force him to commit to recognizing something that hasn't happened yet? That was blatantly a racist attack that if it were committed by a Republican would be headlines for weeks. First of all, if a fucking Republican, if a conservative was attacking like a black Democrat or a black politician, which happens regularly, yes, I would be more inclined to assume that there's probably a little bit underlying racism there. Okay? Not a fucking homelessness activist in Venice. You understand that? Attacking fucking Larry Elder. It's okay, Twitch is paying the bottom dollar. Yeah. But given the fact that you already think that, like, you know, the postal ballots are going to be stuffed, the media just make sure the entire reputation of the U.S. and their elite is as good as a Hollywood script can make it. Now is your chance to talk about how Obama organized the Biden coup in Ukraine and brought power to a literal neo-Nazi regime. So this stuff is not wrong, but over the course of, like, this past year, I feel like this dude has, like, gone down. Like, how the fuck did this dude go from it's racist symbolism, she wears a gorilla mask to attack a black politician, that's all it makes... It's all it takes a blow to CNN headline out of the water. How did this guy go from like fucking being like a labor Andy to like, I guess Jimmy Dore maybe? Like what happened? You're injecting automatic prejudice into today's comments. I'm not that simple and neither is any viewer here. Yeah, I mean, if your exclusive focus is like Larry Elder, who's a gigantic fucking piece of shit, I'll put it into like bruv terms for you. Okay? Larry Elder is like worse than fucking Boris Johnson, okay? Believes in $0 minimum wage. Like, he is not the kind of fucking person that you would ever want. He's like the Nigel Farage, okay? Of California politics. He's not even Nigel Farage. He's the Sargon of Akkad of California politics. And here you are saying that an attack against the Sargon of Akkad, who also regularly got fucking shit tossed at him too. Remember when Sargon of Akkad would get like fucking milkshaked and shit? Yeah, that exact same thing happens in California, and you're like hyper focusing on the aesthetics because you're a goddamn delusional fucking liberal. Oh, it's a black person, bruv. It's a black person being attacked by a woman in a gorilla mask. All right, it's a racist attack. It's clearly a fucking racist attack. Yeah, dude. Like, if you're hyper focused on CNN prejudices in this situation and not like Larry Elder's policies, then maybe you are just as liberal as the rest of them. I don't know. I care about Larry Elder, but man, if he was a Democrat candidate, treatment would be 100% different. Yeah, no shit. Because Democrats are not advocating to like fucking hurt black people. At least they offer lip service, even though they do end up hurting black people in the process. At least they're not like running on hurting black people. You know what I mean? So yes, when someone is aesthetically focused on like helping black people, at least, or running on helping black people, and then some fucking Republican who's like, nah, fuck that, I hate that, turns around and like attacks them, yes, that would be a different situation considering the context, which is something that you were looking for, right? So I'm giving you the context. And it does seem like you do care about Larry Elder. Larry Elder isn't going to win, not close. Why so shaken? I'm shaken by the fact that you can be such a dumb fuck and you know, throw out your fucking credibility in this chat in defense of Larry fucking Elder, dude. That's what I'm shaken by. I don't give a fuck about Larry Elder personally. He's going to lose regardless. I'm shaken by how fucking idiotic you can be. Do you understand? Like, functionally, you would go out to bat to defend this fucking dipshit. And also, additionally shaken that you are literally, without a single fucking fraction of evidence, saying that there will be ballot stuffing. Like, mail ballots are going to somehow lead to some kind of, like, electoral malfeasance. That's what I'm shaken by. That, like, I have bruv audience members in here that have even been worked with, like, that have worked alongside the fucking Labour Party in the UK that can be so fucking idiotic to, like, repeat Fox News talking points, okay?
Supported by Gavin Newsom, who has not been charging criminals to the fullest extent of the law. Maybe she'd be in jail. But you know, again, if this were a D at the end of my name, they'd be talking about the fact that a white woman in a gorilla mask threw an egg at a Democrat candidate for governor. They'd be talking about this in Bangladesh.
Yeah, you know, they definitely have a special ire.
Yeah. The guy, it must have been a racially motivated attack, you know, throwing an egg against the fucking guy who literally advocated, by the way, same talking points of the UK bruv, by the way, just remember that. Remember where you stand, you know, politically, if you and Larry Elder are, you know, saying the exact same shit as the Fox News host, weird. But also, on top of that, like, the person that they're fucking, the person this person is throwing a fucking egg at literally advocated to give reparations to white slave owners instead of black people, okay? All right, let's get to the fucking main person, okay? What I've been meaning to talk about. There's a $3.5 trillion infrastructure bill at play here, okay? You think Manchin has main character syndrome like we all had as kids? Yes, but his main character syndrome is more nefarious and backed by his never-ending interest of maintaining the public eye, being in the forefront of conversations, looking as a spoiler, only to inevitably fucking concede. Manchin is popular at home, right? No, he's not. No, the fuck he's not. He's not popular in fucking Virginia. That is bullshit. But ultimately, it doesn't matter. West Virginians and their fucking points of view do not matter. Not Virginia. West Virginians and their points of view do not matter. Nobody fucking votes. Okay? I said Virginia. I'm not American. I always fuck that up. West Virginians and their points of view ultimately don't matter. There's no, like, they know that they're voting for a corrupt person regardless. Okay. Joe Manchin and his family has fucked whichever part of wherever they fucking lived and maintained power, political power for many generations. Joe Manchin has direct interest in mining corporations that he owns. Okay. Joe Manchin's father and his grandfather were both mayors. They have always notoriously backed corporate efforts, okay, and they will continue to do so. The Manchins will continue to do so. His daughter literally fucking used the Manchin last name to get a fake degree. Got the college to lie about her fake degree. Still got a job at a fucking at the Mylands, the pharmaceutical manufacturer. in West Virginia that manufactures EpiPen. They got Joe Manchin advocated to make sure that like all schools featured EpiPens. Then, of course, that Mylan pharmaceutical manufacturer was sold off to Pfizer a year after Joe Manchin's daughter left with a $30 million fucking compensation package. And then that factory closed, okay, leading to 1,400 West Virginians losing their fucking jobs. So this dipshit has always put his family's interest above the interest of West Virginia. He's always put his own personal interest and his own personal branding in the ahead of the interest of Americans, okay? Nobody likes them, but there's nowhere, you can't fucking vote for anyone there. Like, who are you going to vote for? There have been candidates that have gone against Manchin, and they've also become like kind of Jimmy Dorian in a different way. Like, West Virginia is just fucking, I don't like touching West Virginia. It's radioactive as fuck. It's very difficult to, it's very difficult to talk about West Virginia because, like, you know, there's a lot of weird shit that goes on there, okay? Let's keep going.
Party leader Chuck Schumer says he's moving, quote, full speed ahead with this package. Will he have your vote?
And that's fine. He can. He will not have my vote on 3.5, and Chuck knows that. And we've talked.
That's really interesting that he doesn't have your vote on the 3.5. Wait, hold on. Joe Manchin. Why is he saying that right now? Wait, Joe Manchin in January, Senator Joe Manchin calls up to $4 trillion in infrastructure spending as Democrats are poised to control Congress. What? Wait a minute. What? That's so crazy. What happened? What happened, dude? Oh, what happened is, you know, it's going to happen. So, of course, Joe Manchin has to go and fucking talk on the Sunday talk shows and show his like fucking billionaire and corporate backers that he is the guy who's going to, you know, fuck this deal up to like, you know, reduce the corporate tax rate or whatever the fuck. And that's why he has to maintain his figure. That's why I always say, like, this threat that Manchin is going to go into the Republican Party is a laughable one. You want to know why? You want to know why? Because no one will have Joe Manchin on if he is like every other Republican senator just obstructing for the sake of obstruction, okay? Manchin needs to be a Democrat so he gets that media coverage. If he's not a Democrat, if he's a Republican, yeah, good luck, dude. The fuck's he gonna do? No one's gonna give a fuck about Joe Manchin or his personal branding project if he's out here as just yet another fucking Republican. He can't play the spoiler.
Talked about this. We've already put out $5.4 trillion, and we've tried to help Americans in every way we possibly can. And a lot of the help that we put out there is still there, and it's going to run clear until next year, 2022. What's the urgency? What's the urgency that we have? It's not the same urgency that we have with the American Rescue Plan.
Bullshit. Joe Manchin wrote this article on Wall Street Journal so that he could get these fucking, like sweet little fucking talk show spots while a fucking hurricane was ripping through the East Coast, okay? Literally destroying the East Coast, like flooding in areas that have never seen flooding before. While this motherfucker was like, I'm going to type out this fucking article on the Wall Street Journal to make sure that everybody pays attention to me. Me. Joe Manchin is no different than those fucking TikTok teenagers that we were watching yesterday that fucking talk about how like these fantasy scenarios where they're somehow the fucking hero. You know what I mean? He's got main character syndrome in the exact same fucking way that a 17-year-old teeny bopper does on their dumbass TikToks, okay? The only difference is he's making a lot of money off of this, okay? And this is his own personal branding project that the mainstream media, for some fucking weird reason, routinely offers him the opportunity to do so.
We got that out the door quickly. That was about $2 billion, $2 trillion. And on top of that, you know, all the things we put out with the CARES package, everything leading up to that. So we have done an awful lot, and there's still an awful lot of people that need help. But you have 11 million jobs that aren't filled right now. 8 million people are still unemployed. Something's not matching up. Don't you think we ought to hit the pause and find out the vulnerability that we have, Dana, right now? We don't know what happened with this COVID. It's awful coming back the way it is with a vengeance. We don't know about inflation. We know it's running rampant right now. I can tell you.
Dude, my man talks about urgency. There's no urgency. At a time when there's definitely urgency, okay? Here's the real urgency, you dumb motherfucker that you already know that you're like hiding the truth about. The midterm elections. Joe Manchin knows that he will lose his fucking relevance if the Democrats lose control of the Senate or lose control of the House and the Senate. Doesn't matter. He loses everything when that happens. So no one will give a fuck about him. Which is why I believe that he will end up voting yes for this. Sinema is a little bit harder to move, in my opinion, than Manchin. Okay? So, or worse, get a bigger majority, which is not going to probably happen. But still, you know, that could also ruin Manchin's position as well. But here's the reality, okay? We need every single fucking vote in the Senate to pass this $3.5 trillion budget reconciliation backed infrastructure bill. Okay? Joe Manchin is just simply fucking being like, oh man, I don't know. What about the inflation? What about inflation? It's like, fuck you, dude. And this interview is actually great because Dana Bash, for some weird reason, actually pushes back on him, and he has no answers.
And on top of that, the challenges we're going to have, geopolitical challenges, shouldn't we be prepared?
So I want to ask you about a lot of that, but are you saying it's the price tag, it's the timeline, both?
It's the urgency. Do we have the urgency to do what they're wanting to do in such a quick period of time?
But can you be specific? Okay, let's talk about the dollar sign.
Yeah.
Do you have a specific number in mind?
Here's a number you should be getting to. First of all, I have agreed to get on to the reconciliation because that's the time for us to make financial adjustments and changes. I thought the 2017 tax code and tax law, the way it was changed, was very, very, very unfair, and it was weighted to the wealthy.
So what's the number?
And the bottom line is what the number would be what's going to be competitive in our tax code. I believe that the corporate rate should be at 25, not 21.
But what's the overall number for the budget bill?
I think that you're going to have to look at it and find out what you're able to do through a reasonable, responsible way.
So then how do you know that it's not 3.5?
It's going to be at 1.5. We don't know where it's going to be.
So you think ballpark 1.5?
It's not going to be at 3.5, I can assure you. But with that, whatever it is, once you have a competitive tax code that you can compete globally, and then you should look at what the need is. What's the urgency and the need that we have?
And I want to get to that, but just because this is the thing that people consume. Do you have a ceiling?
Dude, she's just so straight up. This is what people want to hear from you, you dumb old fuck. Just tell me the fucking number. And what is disgusting about this? Yeah, we'll talk about the daughter EpiPen story in a second. But what's remarkably dumb about this, and that's why I'm saying, like, it doesn't take much to be Joe Manchin. Like, he's not a particularly clever individual, but he has no answer, dude. He's got no fucking answer. Like, how are you going to write a whole ass article and not even have a fucking answer for it? That's nuts. That's nuts. So you don't have a problem with $3.5 trillion then? So you don't have a problem with it?
Ceiling?
My ceiling is this, the need of the American people, and for us to basically take in consideration.
My ceiling, I don't know.
Inflation. No one's concerned about the debt. You know, our debt as of Friday was $28.75 trillion. And we're not even talking about that. No one's talking about that.
You just said 1.5. It sounds like 1.5
I'm just saying
trillion
that
is your
basically,
number.
well, I've looked at the numbers. If we have a competitive tax code.
So what happens when the bill is self-paying then? Like, what then? What then, Joe? What happens when it doesn't touch inflation? What then? He's got pay-fors, but also the pay-fors are too high, I think. Nobody's talking about the inflation. Nobody's talking about our debt. Yeah, you want to know why nobody's talking about our debt? Because no one gives a fuck. No one cares. That's never been a fucking real consideration. It's only fucking idiots like you who want to just spoil the fucking process for personal gain. That's the only time motherfuckers bring up inflation, or the only time motherfuckers bring up debt. Okay? Sorry. You don't care about debt either. You're just like using that as an opportunity because Exxon or whoever the fuck, all of your corporate backers want you to fucking blow this up. But even then, he's probably not going to blow it up either. He's just like, this is clout. He is like the ivermectin boys. You know what I mean? They're not personally getting money from ivermectin by selling ivermectin, but they're actually personally developing their clout amongst those who are looking for alternative medications. Okay? And that's precisely what Joe Manchin is doing here. He's not like personally benefiting from blowing up this bill outside of like developing his bona fides amongst those billionaires, millionaires, corporations that want him to play this role in every fucking opportunity he can. Okay? The rec bill has a stronger claim to debt neutral than the bipartisan bullshit, and nobody in the media says shit about this. Yeah, because the bipartisan bill does not have fucking... The bipartisan bill has, like, some pay-fors, but the actual reconciliation bill has a tax hike. Because you couldn't put a fucking tax hike in the bipartisan bill because no fucking Republican was going to vote for tax hikes. On corporations and the wealthy, by the way. Remember that.
Code. From a non-competitive, it doesn't help the working person. It was done in 2017. That's in the 1.5 range, okay? If that's where it is, shouldn't you be looking at what does it take now to meet the urgent needs that we haven't already met?
Okay, so let's talk about how this would be paid for. The White House Chief of Staff, Ron Klain, told me on this show last week that you are, quote, very persuadable on this budget bill because he says it will be paid for. It won't add to the debt. It won't.
That's the funniest part. Like, they already knew this was going to happen, so they're kind of giving the game away. They're, like, fucking this up for Manchin a little bit. Like, if you want to really, like, help Manchin here, what you're supposed to do is, like, cry. Like, what the Democrats are supposed to do is cry. Be like, oh, no, Joe Manchin, like, what? That's crazy. Like, why are you doing this? Oh, well. And then, like, do a symbolic meeting with Joe Manchin. And then ultimately be like, well, here are the pay-fors for the bill. And we only got there because Joe Manchin bravely advocated for it. Like, just give him the fucking claps. You know what I mean? But instead, they're just calling him out. They're like, nope, here are the pay-fors. Joe Manchin was very agreeable on this. So now he's faced with a fucking situation where he has to, like, assume another stance where it's like, I don't know. This is not actually, no, I'm not consolable. I'm not agreeable.
Won't add to inflation.
Well, if they're paying for it with inflated numbers from the standpoint is the tax code, the numbers that they're wanting to pay for it and the tax changes they want to make. Is that competitive? Does it keep us competitive or not?
It does. It literally does. Okay, shut the fuck up, you dumb bitch. It's insane. And now, as a Democrat, Joe Manchin is advocating against higher tax for the wealthy and corporations by bringing up competition. What's going to happen, dude? Are the wealthy going to leave the country? Is that what's going to happen, brother? You think people making more than $400,000 are just going to be like, well, I guess, this is not competitive. I guess it's time for me to live in fucking Belize, okay? Shut the fuck up. That's not happening. That's never happened. It's not going to happen. Shut the fuck up.
I believe there's some changes made that does not keep us competitive.
Meaning, don't.
Hassan, they literally have been. No, they haven't. You want to know why they haven't? Because they're already hiding their fucking assets overseas already legally, or at least like in questionable methods. Shut the fuck up. Just like rich people are not leaving the state of California. And I repeat this over and over again. Rich people are not leaving the state of California. You know who's leaving the state of California? Except for like a couple rich people like fucking Joe Rogan, Elon Musk, and like Ben Shapiro. You know who's leaving the state of California? Poor people and middle-class people. Why are they leaving? Not because of high taxes, but because there's no fucking affordability in the state for them. Okay?
Don't increase don't increase taxes on corporations?
I want to increase taxes on corporations. I've spoken to corporations.
So what specifically are you saying?
I want the wealthy to pay their fair share. But if you're up higher to the point...
Well, we can't make it too fair. You know, I want the wealthy to pay their fair share, but, you know, how much do the wealthy actually have to pay? I mean, there is such a thing as too much fairness, okay? Yeah, that's right. I spoke to all the wealthy people. They call me up every weekend. They say, hey, Joe, we love what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing, yee, Joe. Thank you, Zachdar13, for the gifted subs, my friend. 10 gifted subs.
Point to where you are that can be competitive globally, then it's going to be counterproductive. Everyone's looking at this in a whole complete different way than I think maybe I am or other people are just keeping quiet. The bottom line is, do we have the urgency to spend another $3.5 trillion?
Elon Musk got $150 billion richer, or almost $151 billion richer. Jeff Bezos got $75 billion richer during the pandemic. Mark Zuckerberg got $74 billion richer during the pandemic. Meanwhile, over 38 million Americans faced hunger in 2020. I can't believe it doesn't say Twitch streamer Hasanabi Piker purchased a house. Kind of weird. Public citizen. How about you fucking publicly report on all of the fucking criminal scumbags, dude? Including leftist Twitch streamer Hasanabi Piker. Fucked up. This just in. The left, led by a very dominant Labour Party, wins the elections in Norway. It will be back in power after ousting the conservative government, per first result estimates. That's right. Norway is once again liberated by the leftist party, the Labour Party. Congratulations to the country of Norway.
Right now, the most urgent thing that we have to do is get the bipartisan infrastructure bill that's gone left unattended.
Communist community organizer buys $3 billion house while 5-year Andes eat ramen noodles. What? $3 billion house? Oh, Jesus Christ.
For over 30 years, deferred maintenance throughout every part of our nation. That's the one. The president went out and campaigned on that. That's his bill. We worked it in a bipartisan way, got 19 Republicans to vote for it. That's the bill that should go out immediately.
Okay, and that's, you have another side of this negotiation and some of your fellow Democrats, which I want to get to in a second, but let's just stay on what they call here in Washington the pay-fors, how your fellow Democrats.
Joe Manchin thinks Hasanabi needs a $1.5 trillion house, not $4 trillion. Yeah, I mean, like I said, ultimately, just, you know, go back to this always, okay? Go back to this always, dude. This fucking dipshit literally was an advocate for $4 trillion. The Democrats, the worst thing the Democrats did was, like, they lowered the number to $3.5 trillion out the gate before going in with their original $6 trillion package. Because the original $6 trillion package addressed all of the needs, right? And then they came out of the gates with a 3.5 number, so now they're going to fucking talk to Joe Manchin about 3.5. It is what it is. It just always has to be fucking... It always has to start way high.
Democrats want to pay for this. They're looking at increasing the corporate tax rate, closing existing loopholes, raising taxes on wealthy Americans, trying to get money back from, get the IRS to get money back.
I agree with all of that. I agree with all of that.
And they say they can add that up to 3.5 and there will be not a dollar. This is what they're saying.
I understand, but we just
added to the debt.
Just disagree.
You just don't believe them?
No, I don't believe them. I'm just saying that those rates are not going to be competitive to find out the money. Here's.
Yeah, he has a problem with the tax rate. Like, the pussy right here, this pussy right here is refusing to say, like, I don't want to fucking put taxes on the wealthy. And Dana Bash, for some weird fucking reason, can't turn around and be like, what is the competitive rate? Just ask what the competitive rate is. And then ask why he thinks going back to the pre-Trump administration tax rates is, for some weird reason, not competitive when we had permanent growth with those tax rates. Please explain. Go ahead. Please explain, sir. Please. Weird dude is a banger emote. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Here's the difference. They're looking for 3.5 trillion. I'm looking for a competitive tax rate. Okay, I want to make the adjustments and changes. They're looking for basically.
What does competitive tax rate mean? Can you?
What I don't understand is, like, how can you be a debt guy and then literally advocate for lower taxes? Like, it's so fucking weird to be like, I care about inflation, I care about debt. Okay, motherfucker. Both of those things that you mentioned have to do with taxing. So what's up with increasing taxes? Literally, like, you can't fucking be like, I care about the debt and I care about inflation, and then turn around and be like, I also don't think we should be raising taxes on the wealthy. Like, you can't do that. It's the opposite. It demands the other thing that you're trying to fucking yeet.
You have to be globally competitive. Then you have to be globally competitive.
Right, but
you can't be.
But can you explain?
First of all, you can't be at 39% as far as capital gains. I said 28 all in. Okay, you can't be at 28 or 30 or more with a corporate net. I've said 25 all in, and I think that every corporation should pay a minimum of 15%. They should all pay something. I believe in that. But the bottom line is the need that we.
Oh, dude. Oh shit, dude. That's crazy. That's crazy, man. You can't do 28. I'm 25 all in. Yo, how about 0, dude? Fuck it. I seriously, 0% corporate tax rate, dude. That's the most competitive. How about 0? Fuck it, dude. Yeah. So now we arrive at the real problem for Joe Manchin is that he needs to be looking. He needs to be looking at, his own interests. All right. His own interests are those of the corporate entities that call him up every weekend and tell him, you're doing a good job, Joe. You're doing a good goddamn job, Joe. We here at ExxonMobil, we love you. That's right. Yeah, keep those corporate tax rates competitive, brother. You're doing a great goddamn job.
You understand they put no restrictions whatsoever, qualifications on any of this as means testing of the need of the people, the means testing. How many people have you had talk to you that said they're sending me checks, I don't know why? We've all heard that.
Okay, I want to get to some of the specifics in this in a second, but you just said that you want to get the infrastructure bill that you helped to negotiate, a bipartisan infrastructure bill. It passed the Senate. You want to get it
and the
through
White House was very much
and the White
involved
House
from every day.
But as you well know, dozens of House progressives.
Wrong. We should pay corporations a portion of our tax rate, specifically Exxon and those that pay Manchin out. Brother, I have a really interesting thing to tell you, but we do that already. Like, literally, we do exactly that. As a matter of fact, part of the reason why we have taxes to begin with is so that we can do that. Yeah, so we already do that. Don't worry. That's where our taxes are going. So, yeah, it's called government subsidies. Like, for example, when it comes to energy, 75% of those go directly to fossil fuel, directly to the fossil fuel industry.
Are saying no, they're not going to vote for your infrastructure deal until you support what we're talking about.
Yeah, you don't even need ExxonMobil. His son runs the coal company he started and still makes money from. Chair of the Energy Committee. Yeah, I love that. I love being the chair of the Energy Committee so my son can fucking run my coal company that I'm supposedly divested from.
Here, the overall budget bill, which has a lot of the president's agenda, a lot of Democrats' agenda in it. By digging in your heels on this, aren't you dooming your own infrastructure bill?
Who's digging in the heels here from the first off? The infrastructure.
You are, motherfucker. That's the only reason why I can go on State of the Union. Otherwise, no one gives a fuck about you because you're irrelevant douchebag. Shut the fuck up.
Infrastructure bill has been passed, okay? You have a bipartisan bill with 19 Republicans. Who thought that could happen? Who thought that? And, we worked hard on that for many, many months.
Here you have the mainstream media getting cucked by their own, getting hoisted by their own petard, okay? Guess what? If you personally fucking constantly talk about bipartisanship as this virtuous thing exclusively for the virtue of bipartisanship alone and nothing else. Like, if you consider for many years bipartisanship to be a standalone virtue, then they will use that against you. When push comes to shove, they will turn around and they will fucking use that against you and be like, well, look, it's bipartisan. We got a bipartisan bill. Isn't that great? It's like, why? Who cares? Many people thought it never would have happened. Well, so what? Who cares? The only reason why bipartisanship should be celebrated is if it's passing a fucking bill that's good for the American people. Okay? That's it. And the moment that it's not passing, the moment that you're using bipartisanship as a fucking talking point against like further continuing or, further passing bills that the American public demands and needs, not even demands, needs at this point, then it doesn't matter. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I don't care if like an authoritarian bill passed either. I've said this before and I will repeat it. Like, I personally don't care if like in an authoritarian way we like do vaccine mandates. If in an authoritarian way we implement Medicare for all. I don't care. This is not something I've ever cared, and it's not something I will ever care. There have been plenty of fucking bipartisan bills that have been devastating for America. Okay, the Patriot Act, the congressional approval and authorization for use of military forces. Like, there have been a fuckload of things. The expansion, the constant expansion of the fucking surveillance state. Constantly inflated budgets for our military-industrial complex, the Iraq War, Afghanistan. These are all bipartisan bills. Okay, none of which that has been good. Okay, so if we were to truly help people, if we were to truly and genuinely help people, I don't care if it's fucking passing in an authoritarian manner. Okay, you're gonna shut the fuck up and you're gonna enjoy it later down the line, regardless. And you're gonna act like all of those benefits were benefits that you were always on board with. Social Security being like a great example of this, okay?
And the president's team was very much involved. And the president went out and sold this around the country. Why would you basically let the perfect be the enemy of the good? You have a bill right now. I'm not saying we're not going to get to a reconciliation bill.
Dog, you're the one who's doing that, okay? You are letting perfect be the enemy of the good, okay? There's a good bill. There's two good bills. There's two good bills, brother. You want perfect. Perfect implying you don't want the other. I mean, even then, he doesn't have a problem with that, man. He literally doesn't have a problem with the other bill. It's just fucking bullshit, dude. Fuck.
Whenever.
But they have leverage.
Urgency now.
I guess they have
Well, if they can
leverage.
go home and tell.
Just like you have leverage. They're using their leverage, the House progressives, just like you are.
That's fine. And if they can go home and tell people that, hey, I don't care about the roads and bridges, you don't need them. I don't care about internet service, you don't need that. I don't care about fixing water and sewer lines. I don't care about the hard infrastructure that's deferred for the last 30 years. I don't care about any of that. I can't go home and say that in West Virginia. We need all that. We have the worst bridges in the country.
Do you take this threat seriously by the progressives?
They'll have to do what they have to do. I mean, I'm not involved with the House and the House rules or any of that. Okay, they're going to do what they think is best. And if they play politics with the needs of America, I can tell you, America will recoil.
And they say you're playing politics.
I don't think so. But the bottom line is, if it's such good politics and they think 3.5 trillion, why are they rushing it now? Why don't they use that for political?
All right, let's talk about what's in
campaign trail and say, elect for me, and we'll spend 3.5.
Let's talk about some of the specifics, because I want to get to the substance of what we're talking about here, because I don't think that gets enough attention. What President Biden and the Democrats say is the child tax credit, which has been expanded, make it permanent. They're saying it's already having a major impact on poverty and hunger for children. Do you support making it permanent?
Well, I support child tax credits. I sure am trying to help the children.
But the expansion
let's talk about this before you start saying, is it going to be permanent, this and that?
Yeah.
Let's see how we're doing. Let's make sure that we're getting it to the right people. Let's make sure the people on poverty. I can tell you, people that are working and working poor, making every effort they can to get ahead in life, that's in that 50,000 and below. I've got people that making combined 200 and 300 and more up to 400, saying they're getting checks. You know, if we have X amount of dollars.
But it's on a sliding scale. They shouldn't be doing that.
Well, it's happening, though. This is happening because of the sliding scale. It's 75 and 150 with a sliding fee up to 400. Okay? These are things that there's hard caps to be put. The need-based, we're not having anything about need-based. We're not doing any type of that. And first of all, child tax credits. Think about this. If it's child tax credit, you want to help the children and the parents that are basically providing for those children. There's no work requirements whatsoever. There's no education requirements whatsoever for better skill sets. Don't you think if we're going to help the children, that the people should make some effort?
So let's talk about universal pre-K. West Virginia, your home state.
I've been all for that. I'm all in.
You want to make it a federal program.
It's fine to be federal, but the states can do it too, and the states have a responsibility.
But should universal pre-K be in a bill like this that you would support?
I don't have a problem because I support universal pre-K.
Okay, what about increasing funding for home care services for the sick and elderly?
$60 billion hasn't gone out the door yet. $60 billion. Only thing I'm saying.
Too much money. Too much money. We can't be giving the olds too much money.
The thing is, why urgency to spend another $300 billion?
Bro, he's such a fucking piece of shit. Why? I don't know. Maybe because that's where the fucking demand, that's where the needs are, dog. Have you thought about why that's a necessity? These are also the hilarious part about this, and this is like what fucking triggers me to no end about like neoliberals who deny this. Everything that they've been able to like get a fucking little drip feed of money to is disgustingly popular. Okay? Like with every base, even including the base of voters, like the only base that matters, not the poor, not black people, not brown people, like old voters, okay? Old white voters. Disgustingly popular. So this notion that like you're advocating against that is psychotic, dude.
Towards that, when you got $60 billion, it hasn't gone out. Don't you think we ought to find out what happened? Why are we not able to get into that type of a chain to where we're able to make sure that the administration is able to disperse the money that get it to where it needs to be helped?
Clean energy provisions that are in this bill. They would use tax incentives and carbon capture technology to try to cut emissions in half and make the electric grid 80% clean energy by 2030. Do you support that?
Let me tell you this. Let's look at where we've come.
He's not going to answer that, dude. He's such a piece of shit. Let me tell you this. Have you perhaps considered that my son owns a coal company? Okay? Now, of course, I'm divested from it. I mean, it would be gosh darn unethical if I was advocating for the interest of big coal while I simultaneously, functionally own a coal company.
In the last 20 years. In 2000, the year 2000, 52% of our electricity came from coal. Only about 16% came from natural gas, and only about 9.5% came from renewables. 20 years to date. Okay, 2020, 19% from coal, 40% from natural gas, and up to 20% for renewables. The transition is happening. Now they're wanting to pay companies to do what they're already doing. Makes no sense to me at all for us to take billions of dollars and pay utilities for what they're going to do as the market transitions. We've proven that, and we will continue to transition. They're accelerating something that could be very, very vulnerable to the reliability.
So it sounds like a no. You don't support the provisions
at all.
Okay. Back to state.
Oh, that's hilarious, dude. Sounds like a no.
Senator Bernie Sanders is back on the campaign trail trying to sell voters in middle America on Democrats'
This motherfucker is 700 years old, bro. 700 years old. And he's campaigning across the country, like doing more than Joe Biden right now to sell this thing. Can you imagine? Dude, we do not deserve Bernie Sanders, man. We really don't. I mean, look, we literally do not deserve him. We don't. We deserve the Joe Manchins of the world. We don't deserve Bernie Sanders.
$3.5 trillion plan to expand.
Imagine going on CNN as a Democratic senator with a 50-50 split and having CNN not backing you, LMAO. Yeah, I mean, it's because it's so disingenuous that, like, it's easy to tackle. It, like, makes for good fucking content. It's kind of wild that the thing that is really frustrating about this, though, is that, like, Joe Manchin didn't even do the work. Like, that's such a fucking spit on the faces of, like, every American that's, like, desperate and looking for help from the government. That every constituency across the board that absolutely would benefit tremendously from infrastructure spending, whether it's like healthcare for the elderly or childcare. Like, the guy who is holding this process up has the audacity to go on national television for his own personal branding endeavor, and he didn't even do the research, he didn't even do the work to just be like, here are my talking points, actually. Like, that's how little this guy gives a fuck. And it doesn't matter.
And the child care tax credit, paid leave, along with new investments battling the climate crisis. But right now, his focus is on a key Senate Democrat. He
never worked a working class job in his life, Piker. Yeah, don't speak for yourself, douche. You're right, dude. Everything I'm saying must be horribly wrong, dude. Everything I'm saying must be horribly fucking wrong. You're right. Yeah, no, tax me less, dude. Fucking idiot. Like, if you're coming in here and you do not have a deed for a fucking factory, okay? And you're coming in here and you make less money than I do. And you're literally saying, like, you should be taxed less, you fucking dumbass. Shut the fuck up. Stop advocating to tax yourself higher, you fucking piece of shit. I don't know what to tell you. Like, I don't know what to tell you. You're just such an idiot, dude. You literally deserve the situation that you found yourself in. You're advocating to make your situation worse. I don't know what to tell you, man. You're such a fucking cuck. You are such a fucking cuck, dude. It is so sad. It is so pathetic. And what blows my mind is, like, why do you expect me to fucking change my principles and values now that I make more money? Like, that's the worst part about it, is, like, you think I was, you think I just, like, fucking plopped out in this situation, in this financial situation? Are you fucking stupid? The same motherfuckers who are like, Jank made you, bro. Jank made your career. Yeah, like, yeah, that's why I'm like fucking, 10xing TYT's numbers right now since I left TYT. Because he just paid him too much to come in and watch me instead. Christ. I mean, I love Jank, and of course, obviously, he did legitimately help me a lot, but goddamn, dude.
Must convince to get any of this done. Senator Joe Manchin. Here's Bernie Sanders. Joining me now is the chairman of the Senate Budget Committee and the author of the reconciliation bill, Senator Bernie Sanders of Vermont. Thank you so much for joining me. First, your colleague, Joe Manchin, just explicitly told me repeatedly he will not support your $3.5 trillion reconciliation bill. He wants to see something more in the ballpark of $1.5 trillion. Is that acceptable to you?
No, it is absolutely not acceptable to me. I don't think it's acceptable to the president, to the American people, or to the overwhelming majority of the people in the Democratic caucus. Look, we worked with Senator Manchin to pass the $1.9 trillion American Rescue Plan, which was enormously consequential and helpful to working class families in getting us out of the economic disaster that befell us as a result of COVID. I believe we're going to all sit down and work together and come up with a $3.5 trillion reconciliation bill, which deals with the enormously unmet needs of working families. You know, we've got to lower the cost of prescription drugs for people. We've got to expand Medicare to include dental, hearing aids, and eyeglasses. We have to maintain the $300 direct payment we're giving to working parents, which have lowered childhood poverty in America by 50%. And I'll tell you what else we have got to do. The scientists will tell us that we got a few years left before there will be irreversible harm to our planet if we do not address climate change.
Like, this dude's gonna die, dude. I'm sorry to remind everybody, but like, he's not gonna see the worst consequences of climate change, okay? How is it that like one of the oldest members in the Senate is one of the best advocates against the irreparable harm that climate change is causing on this planet right now? It's nuts.
And the truth of the matter is, Donna, as you may know, many of us made a major compromise in going from the $6 trillion bill that we wanted, supported by the overwhelming majority of Democrats, down to 3.5. And the last point that I would make on this, I know that Senator Manchin worked very hard on what's called the bipartisan infrastructure bill, $550 billion of new money to rebuild our roads and our bridges. What we have worked on is working both of those bills in tandem. They go together. And it would be a really...
I will never understand how Americans can listen to this guy and look at this like 80-year-old man fighting his fucking ass off to pass bills that will help people that will never even touch him, okay? To leave a better future, a better tomorrow for American generations to come. And then they're still like, he's a grifter, he's a piece of shit. I just don't understand how you can fucking look at this dude. Look how much he cares. Look at what he's done throughout his entire life and go, he has 3 houses. Fuck that guy. He's yet another hypocrite commie. Fuck him. There is some fraud behind every selfless act. Conservatives do not understand the concept of empathy. Yeah, it's just like, it's nuts. It's just fucking nuts. It's insane. A dude who's like literally busted his ass his entire fucking life, dude. So sad.
Sad state of affairs for the American people, for Congress, if both of those bills went down.
Do you think that's possible, that could happen right now?
Yeah. I don't think it will happen. I mean, I think, look, this is a very difficult issue. What we are trying to do in this bill is more significant for...
Society grows great when old men plant trees, the shade of which they will never enjoy. Wow, that's a beautiful quote.
Working families than any bill probably since FDR and the New Deal. I mean, we're talking about expanding Medicare. We're talking about making sure that no working family in America pays more than 7% of their income for childcare, making pre-K universal and free, putting a huge amount of money into affordable housing, creating millions of good-paying jobs, home health care, you name it. This is a consequential bill. It is hard to put a bill like this together. At the end of the day, I believe we will.
Okay, and I want to ask you about more of the substance in a second, but the other thing that Senator Manchin is opposed to is the timeline. Chuck Schumer wants to have a draft of this reconciliation bill done by Wednesday. The House Speaker committed to holding a vote by September 27th. He said that's not going to happen, full stop. Are you willing to give it more time?
Well, I mean, a few days here or there, it doesn't matter. But there is a sense of urgency. And the sense of urgency is that we live in a country today where the wealthiest people and the largest corporations are doing phenomenally well, while working class people are struggling all over this country in terms of health care. You know, you got 90 million people uninsured or underinsured. People can't afford to pay prescription drugs, can't afford to send their kids to college. Kids are leaving school deeply in debt. You got almost 600,000 people in America who are homeless today. And you got the climate crisis. You know, Oregon is burning, California is burning, Siberia is burning. You know, people are dying in floods in New York City, unprecedented rainfall. There is a sense of urgency, which I think the American people understand. And what they want is finally, maybe, just maybe, the Congress of the United States will act for them and not just for the wealthy campaign contributors and the rich and the powerful, who, by the way, are pouring huge amounts of money. The drug companies, the insurance companies, fossil fuel industry, huge amounts of money in trying to defeat us.
Okay, let's actually talk about that, because Senator Manchin said pretty explicitly he's opposed to the clean energy provisions that you are going to put into this bill as you write it. He also wants to see more evidence that the child tax credit is working and it's going to the proper people, not wealthier people, before making it permanent. He doesn't support raising the corporate tax rate as high as you want. So this isn't just about the overall dollar figure. It's not just about the timeline. It's a disagreement, a pretty deep disagreement about some of the fundamental priorities that you have been talking about. How do you bridge that?
But, but Dana, please understand that within the context of the Democratic caucus, and I hope everybody in America knows, we have no Republican support for this.
Somebody was saying that like Bernie is all talk, and all fluff and whatever. I forget who it was. Holy shit. Let me see if I can find the tweet. But like some fucking dumbass neoliberal critic was like, oh, classic Bernie. Like he already voted for the fucking bipartisan infrastructure bill. He has no power. Not realizing that like, he does have allies in fucking, he is a fuckload of allies in the House. Yeah, Matt Whitlock or something. Yeah, hold on. Let me see if I can find it. Just another incredibly idiotic fucking political analysis from these goddamn losers that have no understanding of how politics is supposed to operate. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Hold up. Okay, I can't find it. Did you guys find it? Texas can't seem to catch a break. Tropical storm Nicholas strengthens and could blow ashore in Texas a hurricane. Of course.
We're talking about Mr. Manchin, but the real outrage is that you got not one Republican who are prepared to extend the $300 direct payment for working parents so that they can raise their children in security and dignity. Not one Republican is prepared to help us take on the existential.
Oh, never mind. It was a Republican. It was a Republican. It was a Republican. It was a Republican. It was this guy. Matt Whitlock, the NRSC former Senate Republicans communications guy, Orrin Hatch. Bernie's actually doing the nice bipartisan infrastructure bill you got there. Would be a shame if something happened to it. I love responses from Bernie fans saying he's awesome for doing this. The bipartisan bill already passed the Senate. Bernie has low leverage to stop it now, and he voted for it without the $3.5 trillion attached. In classic Bernie fashion, he talks a big game and accomplishes nothing. Like, dude, how do you work in the Senate and not understand how the fuck this works, dude? Like, how? How have you worked in the Senate? And also, you were a part of like the Republican communications infrastructure for the Republican Party, and you're unaware of the plan of action to push for both of these, to push like a double bill. His fans will eat it up. No, that doesn't matter. This guy, first of all, it's fucking Matt Whitlock. Like, what kind of fans does he have? Who the fuck is a fan of the Republican communications director? No one. That's not a real person. And also, secondly, like, his fans don't give a fuck about Bernie being all talk, no show. What, you think he's gonna get like liberals to agree with him? This is like some fucking lib-ass bullshit. Lonely fans. Anyway, it's really frustrating. Keep going.
Threat of climate change. Now, in terms of taxation, at a time when you have billionaires and large corporations in this country, in some cases not paying a nickel in federal income tax, you know what? We should and can pay for this entire $3.5 trillion bill, which, by the way, extends over 10 years. We should pay for it by demanding the wealthiest people, largest corporations in this country to start paying their fair share of taxes. And if Mr. Manchin wants to pay for it completely, I am delighted. I know that Senator Wyden, chairman of the Finance Committee, delighted to work with him. We can do that.
And again, what he's said is that is one issue, paying for it. But the broader question is the real differences on the question of your priorities here, but also just the raw math. You mentioned Republicans not being on board. I don't need to tell you this is a 50-50 Senate. If Senator Manchin or even Kyrsten Sinema in Arizona doesn't support this, you will not get the votes. How do you get there? Look, are you willing to compromise on any of this?
I did.
Additionally, I know you did. Additionally.
No. Look, don't make this a Bernie Sanders versus Joe Manchin issue. It is not.
Yeah, no, and I'm not
This is
trying to. I'm
poll
trying.
after- Donna.
As the budget chairman, you have a.
Donna, Donna, let me be clear, Donna. What the fuck is that, Donna? Yo, I love him so much.
You have a negotiating position, you and the White House and the leadership. So I don't mean to make it about you. Just how do you, the Democratic leadership in the White House, get to a place where there's something that can be done?
Well, I think I'll tell you how we get it. Because the American people are going to speak out on this issue. Every single poll that I have seen, whether you are a Democrat or a working class Republican or an independent, overwhelming support for this bill. The President of the United States wants it. Now, this is not like a 50-50 split in the Democratic caucus. You may know this. I'm chairman of the Budget Committee. On the Budget Committee are 11 Democrats. 9 of them were prepared to support a $6 trillion bill. I would guess at least 40 Democrats out of 50 understand that we need at least $6 trillion. So there's already been a significant compromise. But the bottom line here is, if you think about the House as well, these two bills, the bipartisan infrastructure bill and the reconciliation bill, are marching down the path together.
Yeah.
Mr. Manchin, I know, worked very hard on the bipartisan bill. It would be a terrible thing for the American people if both of those bills failed. They are linked together. They're going to go forward together.
Yeah, and that's my final question to you, because you know that a lot of your fellow progressives in the House are saying explicitly they will not vote for the infrastructure bill that's already passed the Senate.
And I agree with them. Donna, let me be clear. I think they're doing exactly the right thing because promises have been made, agreements have been made. We want a physical infrastructure bill. We have to rebuild our roads and our bridges. That's important. Human infrastructure is more important. We cannot continue to have elderly people unable to hear, no teeth in their mouths, children who can't get decent childcare. We cannot afford not to deal with climate. We have got to do that in this unprecedented moment in American history. Two bills go together. At the end of the day, I believe we're going to pass them both.
Senate Budget Chairman Bernie.
Hold that fucking frame, baby. That's Sigma behavior. Sigma behavior. Speaking of Sigma behavior, let's get back to fucking Biden, okay? Let's get back to boss man Biden for a second, okay? Because if there's another guy that's holding frame, probably unaware that he's holding frame, it's boss man Biden. That's right. We're going back to the American support for vaccine mandates for workplaces, which is, of course, shocking. I mean, what a surprise. Something that more than 50% of Americans support. That's so strange. What a strange concept. Who would have fucking thought?
Brand new CNN poll, which was mostly taken in August before President Biden announced a series of new requirements. But, Harry, we see a serious growth here in support for vaccine requirements.
Going up, climbing higher and higher, as Jackie Wilson once said. Look here, support for vaccination mandates, a 10-person school, 55%, attend sports events, 55%, work in person, 54%. Only shop in a grocery store at 41% has less than majority support. But the key here is the trend line. Look at this, 49 to 55, 47 to 55, 46 to 54. And even in shop in a grocery store, up 15 points from 26%.
So aside from the last one, a majority and growing.
Correct.
All right. If you ask it another way, though, broadly speaking, the issue of requirements, what do people say?
Yeah, you know, getting back to what Asa Hutchinson was saying, speaking about a partisan divide, this, I think, might be where we're heading if Republicans continue to push, or at least some Republican leaders push against vaccine mandates. So he asked it this way: vaccine mandates for everyday activities outside of the home are acceptable to increase vaccinations. Look at that, 51%, well within the margin of error. An unacceptable infringement on rights. Republicans are going to argue 49%. And look at the partisan divide. This kind of looks like a presidential approval.
75% that lean Dem say it's acceptable to increase vaccinations. 24% that lean GOP.
Rating not quite as bad, but still fairly close. If you're a Democrat or lean Democrat, 75% support that these vaccine mandates are acceptable to increase vaccinations. But look at this. 76% among Republicans or independents who lean Republican, an unacceptable infringement on rights. So a very clear partisan divide, at least on the broader question.
I will say, when you look at this number here, I wonder how many of these people are against the vaccine mandates for schools that exist in every single state right now.
Yeah.
They don't care because they're just fucking horny and mad. Okay? They're horny, they're frustrated, they're angry, they don't know what the fuck they're angry at. So whatever the Republican Party and the media infrastructure that backs the Republican Party and sets their fucking agenda for billionaires, the millionaires, the wealthy, corporations in general, whatever they fucking use as a vector for their anger, everyone's gonna fucking hyper focus on. That's it. That's the reality. It's a bit column A, column B, though. It's a bit chicken or the egg situation, because like they have always been horny and angry towards vaccinations. They were just unaware that they were literally fucking, participating in vaccine mandates their entire lives. But now that the media is like saying, well, guess what? This is actually bad for you. You shouldn't be forced to take a vaccine. While they themselves are, of course, all vaccinated. All of a sudden they turn around and they're like, all of a sudden they turn around and decide like, this is it. This is why. The funniest thing is military people being like, I'm quitting the military over this vaccine mandate. It's like, dude, you're a fucking idiot. Like, there's always been a vaccine mandate in the military. Like, George Washington had a fucking vaccine mandate on the military. Like, you're not quitting. Like, there's no last straw here. You're just a fucking idiot.
Yeah, they say they're opposed to it, but they all live somewhere where there absolutely are vaccine requirements. All right, let's talk about partisan views on CDC, guys. Actually, it's not partisan views, just what the CDC says. What are people doing?
Yeah, so do you adhere to CDC?
I'd pick up another job just so I could snitch in even more motherfuckers. Mehmet Okert. I love that name. Mehmet Okert. Would y'all report your own vaccinated coworkers with 200K? I'd pick up another job just so I could snitch in even more motherfuckers. Y'all just be outing the fact that you'd be turning in Jewish people if you were alive during Nazi Germany. Not a flex. What? Dude, you can't like, you're just Jewish in that point. Okay. You can't change that. But you can change your vaccination status by getting a fucking vaccine. And not only that, but also it's a good thing to get vaccinated. Why do people do this all the time? This makes no sense. Wait, someone said this is a PSL, Andy. Oh, please tell me. What? Is it? Oh, you just made that up, dude. You literally just made that up. 77 likes, 1,347 quote tweets, dude. Jesus Christ. How dare you besmirch the PSL's own brand of crazy. Yeah, that's true.
CDC coronavirus guidance. 49% say always. Now, depending on which way you want to add this.
I will never sub now, says 19-month subscriber Alajan. Just very obvious that he wants to use weird dude, okay? Just so obvious that he wants to use the weird dude emote. Look at him. He's keeps throwing it out there over and over again.
This up, right? Look, a significant chunk, 38% say sometimes. This hardcore never is just 13%. But you could argue that this is a majority, right? 51% who say sometimes or never. But most people, most Americans are at least sometimes following the guidance. They're not always, but at least sometimes following the guidance.
In terms of a change, we see an increase in support for mandates, but we also see an increase in, I would say, trepidation, right?
Yes. I would say that that's exactly right. So look here. Views on the coronavirus pandemic. Is the pandemic over? No. 86% say it's not. Has the economic recovery not started? Look at that, 64%. Still taking precautions every day? Again, look at that, 64%. So there's still a lot of people who are out there are scared, who don't believe that this pandemic is over quite yet.
I mean, it's not over, right?
No.
I mean, 86 is actually low given the...
Wait, that makes no sense. What the fuck? I really would have thought that there would be like a higher percentage of Republicans that are like, no, the pandemic is over, brother. What the fuck?
Reality that we're seeing every day.
Maybe it should be 100%, but still, you rarely find 86% of Americans agree on everything, and they do certainly agree on the fact that the pandemic is not over.
Curious how the 13% of the population is causing 100% of the COVID spread? It's not. But it's causing nearly 100% of the fucking COVID deaths and hospitalizations. That's the problem.
Where are our vaccination numbers?
Yeah. Woo! College grads, 88%. Lean Democrat, 86%. White, 73%. People of color, 72%. Non-college grads, 64%. Lean Republican, 58%. Vaccines are very, very popular. Even if there is a divide, say a partisan divide between Republicans and Democrats or college grads and non-college grads, the fact is a majority of adults and pretty much every single demographic group has at least gotten one dose of a
man said, "Woo!"
vaccine so far. That,
yeah, we're
going to
talk about Ron DeSantis again in a second.
Even if we could be doing better.
A very smart man once told me that vaccinations or these vaccines are as popular as Christmas trees.
I think I know that guy. Perhaps I'll talk to him afterwards. Buffalo Bills guy, about 6'2", maybe around 25 to 34 years old.
Very handsome. Looks like Harry.
Thank you.
All right, Harry. Thank you.
What the fuck? Crowder on the vax mandate. I've never been scared for our country. Dude, what the fuck, dude? Oh, here. Let's watch a Republican congressperson inadvertently make the case for vaccine mandates. Here's Representative Ronnie Jackson, who's also a doctor, saying he only got vaccinated because of Nancy Pelosi.
Oppose these vaccine mandates. 48% in favor, and over 70% of Republicans are not in support of these mandates. Did you get vaccinated?
I got vaccinated, and the only reason I got vaccinated, Brian, was because I knew that I'm on a Foreign Affairs Committee on Armed Services, and I knew that Nancy Pelosi was not going to let me travel on CODELs, on congressional delegations, if I didn't get it.
Good. There we go. Congratulations. There you go. He admitted it. Chat, you see that? That's what I've been saying for the longest fucking time. There you go. That's literally the point, brother. That's how mandates work. And guess what? You're not dead. You're alive. What happened? My liberties were eroded. Oh, guess what, dude? So what? You're fucking surviving, unfortunately. Okay. And that's precisely how mandates work. There you go. Love it. Don't even need anything else to see here.
Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have got it because I'm otherwise pretty healthy. And now I'm not.
One more. Okay, never mind. Still funny. Still getting rolled. Vaccine mandates work.
Anti-vax, don't take it that way. I encourage my parents to get it. I told my sister to get it, who's immunocompromised.
Wait, but then why wouldn't he get it then? Why wouldn't you have gotten it then?
I think that everybody should look really seriously at getting the vaccine. And there's a lot of people that need to get it because this virus is the real deal. But there are some people that need to be able to make that choice for themselves. And some people are at low risk. And
No, they don't. They fucking don't. They literally don't, brother. You're wrong.
They don't want to get it. They should have the freedom to not get it.
Just to follow up on that.
Nope. That's it. I can't believe I'm about to retweet Dan Pfeiffer, but true. Only medical professionals should make that distinction. Well, he is literally a medical professional. So, oh, wait, hold on. That's also pretty funny. Hold on. So you just said only medical professionals should make that distinction, right? He is a medical professional. But also, he did make that distinction. He literally told his family to get the vaccine. So here you have a medical professional who's like, I would never take the vaccine for myself unless Nancy Pelosi forced me to do it, which is why, inadvertently the vaccine mandates work. Also, as a medical professional, I'm telling others to get the vaccine in my immediate family. But, maybe some people don't want to take it. It's like, yeah, you double rolled, triple rolled. Like, he literally is, as a medical professional, making this distinction to protect his fucking loved ones, okay? But, those who are away, way far away, it's like, I don't care about those guys, okay? Fuck them. That's so funny, dude. He's standing up for other people's rights despite what he thinks personally. Come on, you understand this? Dude, he's not. There is no such thing. He's not. He is completely fucking doing the grift. He's not standing up for other people's rights, you fucking idiot. Are you really that stupid? Like, there is no rights in this situation. Like, you have to follow this up. It's like the same as when people say, well, the South fought in the civil rights because they wanted to preserve states' rights. To do what? States' rights to own slaves. Just like in this situation, oh, he's protecting people's rights. Like what? Their rights to fucking die and take up a bunch of, medical resources before they die that would otherwise be used for those who need it? That took the necessary precautions. So there you go. There is no he's doing it to protect other people's lives. Okay, that doesn't work that way. Here is also Governor Ron DeSantis. Hell yeah, brother, doing the protecting the states' rights here. Okay, states' rights to do what? To own slaves? Maybe. Here is Governor Ron DeSantis of Florida, rolling out his new policy. Take a look at what that policy is about.
If a government agency in the state of Florida forces a vaccine as a condition to employment, that violates Florida law, and you will face and you will face a $5,000 fine for every single violation. And so,
hey man, you know that your fine is $5,000. The OSHA fine is $14,000. So I guess he's just basically adding an extra tax on corporations in Florida. Guess what? Seems like he's adding an additional tax on corporations in Florida, getting a nice little $5,000 bonus from them. Is that what's happening? Because feels like they're probably going to take the $5,000 L from Florida rather than the $14,000 L from OSHA. It is hilarious how many cops have died of COVID in this state. Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah, cops be like, black people are terrifying. We go outside every day. You know, we have to be shooting everybody. And then, like, they literally die of COVID. Like, so... It is absolutely fucking hilarious how many cops have died of COVID. It is like, literally, like, cops are the biggest babies of all time with respect to like how terrifying their job is. Like, they're constantly fucking exaggerating. Like, our jobs are so terrifying. They're so terrible. You know, we go outside every day, put our lives on the line. It's like, dude, you're literally getting wrecked by heart disease and COVID. Okay. The officer down memorial page. Officer down. Yet another officer down to COVID, brother. Displaying officers 1-2-25 for search terms, Texas. Heart attack, COVID-19, 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 automobile crash. Okay, that's an interesting one. COVID-19, 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 heart attack, gunfire. Wonder if this is friendly fire or not. COVID-19, 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 COVID-19. Gunfire, gunfire. COVID-19, 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 gunfire, COVID-19. That's right, brother. The real killer. COVID-19, 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 vehicular assault. COVID-19, 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 COVID-19. Now, if you're wondering why so many fucking cops are dying of COVID-19, well, let me tell you something. It's because a big chunk, an absolute gigantic chunk of cops are fucking hogs. And hogs don't want to take the vaccine. They don't want to take the precautions against COVID-19. They don't like wearing masks. They're all fucking hogs. They don't like getting vaccinated. They're all fucking hogs. So, of course, they're dying like crazy from COVID-19. Also, they are fat. This is true. They are also not in shape. This is pretty funny. I'm sorry. This is fucking hilarious. Okay. Tucker Carlson says his show never punches down and only attacks the powerful. And I don't know. I guess he thinks the homeless are rich and powerful or something. Either that or he's a lying piece of shit.
Piss down. And
oh my God. Tucker Carlson saying he never punches down is
hilarious. Everyone who works on our show is very aware of like the most basic rule, which.
Yeah. You know who is the most fortunate in American society? The undocumented Guatemalan aunt. Okay, that's why Tucker Carlson exclusively spends most of his rhetoric shitting on the undocumented Guatemalan aunt that like walked over the fucking border, that walked like 3,000 miles to come here. Okay, yeah, everybody knows this.
Which is don't piss down, punch up. Like that's just like a life rule. And people who punch down are the worst. They should have no power whatsoever.
One group of Americans has no worry at all about getting whatever they want. The homeless. People, I mean...
You use a lot of logical fallacies. Love that. Thank you, Osama the Hun. I wonder why you chose that name.
Why would they be giving the homeless free stuff? I don't understand. It's repulsive. Trash, drugs, garbage, the homeless.
If you're going to, take a punch, make sure it's upward. Someone who's richer, stronger, more powerful, in charge of more things than you are.
Why do people put up with that? Why doesn't someone say, get out of here? I'm sorry, you don't have a right. You don't own the sidewalk. You can't do this. My kids are here. Where are those people, the normal people? Normal people are just about sick of it. I love San Francisco, and I want it to thrive, but I'm worried that at some point, the only people left will be the homeless. All normal people will have left.
At this stage in California's decline, to think outside the box.
The cardboard box.
Don't attack people beneath you.
Normal people. Yeah. Interesting. Hold on, I want to retweet this. What the fuck? Stitch has a glitch. Thank you for the 5 tier 1 gift subs. I heard it from across the room, and even hearing it in the background from a different room caused me to call up my doctor and ask him if there is any way to reverse the vaccination process, or if I could perhaps start the process of ethical, active euthanasia. Is this a possibility, doctor? So I can never be affiliated with whatever this is ever again. Now, why do they do this? Why must liberals in media routinely make this situation so much worse? Like, if I'm a hog and I even see this one time, it's like, I'm never taking a vaccine ever again. Okay? I see this and I go, nope, no shot. Someone in the chat said this, but I fully agree. This is more harmful to the vaccine effort than Joe Rogan. Yes. Joe Rogan could talk endlessly for hours to millions of people about, like, yeah, you know, just don't take the vaccine. It's actually bad for you. And that cannot be as damaging as, like, this getting out, which I will continue of it, because it's like, oh, there is no poison. Like, the cheers are coming from voters. It's pretty funny.
If I were you, I'd take precaution before I get my news from Facebook.
I feel like a part of him is literally dying while he's doing this. Like, I feel like they recognize how fucking whack this is. You know what I mean? Like, wait, there's more though, right? I didn't get to see all of it.
Poison.
Here's a real vaccine track.
Call it how I see it. Here it goes. Had to do it. Who shot ya? Welcome to the vaccine opera. Leaked hard to creep those Wuhan streets. It's on Pfizer. Fuck mainstream media speech. I see cancer trickling down your cheek. Your lawsuits stack like elephants creep. Thundering, act like we can't see. Now it's about shots, monitor your thoughts. Neighbors call the cops if you ain't got your shots. Heads they be on the block, 3 1/4, slaughtered. African mothers with crippled daughters. Old school, new school, need to learn though. Big pharma killing circa 1904. News told you swine flu would kill yo. Bill Gates killed kids by giving polio. People know.
Thank God, this guy saved the situation. Oh my God. Oh, thank God. Thank God. For a second, I was thinking like, oh no, like liberals are just so cringe. And then now it's just, oh, thank God. My confidence is restored, okay? Your white people not rapping take is rings true every day. Oh yeah. Always.
No, controlling all the peasants is taking place. Fucking with big pharma ain't safe. Make your skin chafe. Rashes on the masses. Vax deaths excused from the stats they skewed. Rockefeller smash fools, jab fools. Sheeple blind, just follow the cash, dude. Everyone around me, 2 shots, right? Why no one worried? They saying 3, 4, 5. Those lies, media's finest. Wake up, son, there's bad boys behind this.
Is it too much of a hot take to think that the syphilis experiment is getting a little bit too much consideration? It's literally the opposite, okay? People are like, oh, the Tuskegee syphilis experiment, get fuck lib. And it's like, yeah, except that's currently happening with ivermectin, you dumb fuck. Like, rich white people cut the line to get the fucking vaccine. Meanwhile, they're literally testing it out on, like, black prisoners, the ivermectin shit on black prisoners, without telling them it's actually ivermectin. They're just telling them it's vitamins. All right, let's get to the ivermectin, folks. Today's story would not be complete without talking about the real savior of the room. Okay, the real savior of the white working class folks. Okay, and that is, of course, ivermectin, brother. Now, many of you got dang liptards say it's horse paste. Guess what? It's apple flavored. Okay? It's apple flavored horse medicine. And if it's good enough for my horsey, it's good enough for me. That's right. Let's take a look at what Ben Collins, senior reporter at NBC News, had to say. Because can't stress how wild the ivermectin groups have become. So many people insisting to each other to never go to an ER. In part because they might not get ivermectin, but sometimes because they fear nurses are killing them on purpose for insurance money. Oh no. That's crazy. I'm sorry. Is that a problem? You mean to tell me that the ivermectin horse pace groups have now decided that if you are, you know, treating this with horse dewormer instead of the vaccine, you shouldn't crowd up the ICU spaces? Good. That's good. Great. We're smoking on that fucking ivermectin pace, brother. That ivermectin pack. Looking smokable as ever. That's fine. I'm totally fine with that. Don't care. Don't care, baby. Slurp on that ivermectin and do not go to the ICUs. Nurses are doing their very best. They're gonna, yeah, they're killing the anti-vaxxers, dude. Because they're the real truth tellers, the anti-vaxxers. Don't go. Don't go to the hospitals. I'm fine with this. The ivermectin Facebook groups are becoming fully anti-Western medicine spaces, replete with concepts that ERs are killing you, maybe intentionally. It's just a constant stream of DIY, vitamin therapies, and new, seemingly random antiviral drugs every day, but not the vaccine. The ivermectin Facebook groups also offer a window into how pervasive anti-vax COVID treatment videos are on TikTok. The groups serve as a de facto aggregator for anti-vax TikTok, a space that is enormous but inherently unquantifiable to researchers. Everybody's just constantly winging it on ivermectin Facebook. Everything's a miracle cure or it isn't, but every drug is worth a shot, except, of course, the thing that works, the vaccine. Anything pro-vaccine is instantly written off as propaganda. Has anyone heard of betadine for COVID? Betadine is not considered to be an antiviral. It is used to kill bacteria topically. It's very effective. The ivermectin Facebook groups are a microcosm of how COVID denial has evolved. In 2020, COVID denialists believed that the disease was a government plot. In 2021, COVID denialists were forced to confront that it's real, but it's the vaccines, nurses, ventilators that are killing you. I love this, dude. Fires are real. Firefighters in water kills you. Yep. Nicki Minaj is anti-vax. Oh, let's go. They want you to get vaccinated for the Met. If I get vaccinated, it won't be for the Met. It'll be once I feel I've done enough research. I'm working on that now. In the meantime, my lows be safe. Wear the mask with 2 strings that grips your head and face, not that loose one. I'm afraid I'm going to get the fucking Barb's hatred for this one, but I'm sorry, Nicki Minaj. Like, you're fucking stupid. And so am I. Like, you're never going to be able to do your own research to figure out the technology behind the vaccine. Okay? I'm sorry. You're a fucking idiot. Like, and so am I. Okay? Like, what kind of research is fucking Nicki Minaj doing, dude? And don't get me wrong. It's not like she's any less or more capable of doing their own research than any dumb fucking idiot on Facebook either. It's just like deeply frustrating when dumbasses say this shit. Hold on. Oh, fuck. Nikki, the vaccine doesn't prevent getting COVID. It prevents you from getting serious symptoms. Non-vaccinated people are 11 times more likely to pass away from COVID than vaccinated. Babe, that's not true. I had the exact same symptoms as people with the damn vaccine. Wait, what? Love you, babe. I was prepping for VMAs, and then I shot a video, I guess, who got COVID. Do you know what it is not to be able to kiss or hold your tiny baby for over a week? A baby who's only used to his mama get vaccinated. Drake had just told me he got the COVID. He got COVID with the vaccine, though, so chile. I can't ratio Nicki Minaj, bro. She is the most active community, dude. It's just never gonna happen. Also, I don't know what the fucking try some David and Goliath shit. Do not do it. You'll be eaten alive even when you're speaking the truth. I mean, what are they gonna say? Like what? I mean, I know what they're gonna say. They're gonna say I'm racist. Does that mean she's not going to the fucking Met then? Like, I don't understand. And also, it's too late for her to get to the Met while being unvaccinated regardless. You know? Do it. They can't be any more rabid than the left when you got a house. Black people's business. Don't do it. I'm not going to say anything. If you value your life, Hassan. No. It's not because I'm afraid of the Barbs or whatever. I get fucking doxxed and get yelled at all the time. It's more so that I don't have like a good response to it. You know what I mean? Like I just don't have a good response. I don't know what to say that's like funny or clever here. Legitimately cannot wait to see what the research is. Yeah, I mean, that's what I was going to say too. Like what kind of research? Like what is the research, dude? Like what? Keep an eye out for Slender. Chile, big boobs. Any of these work? What? Anyway. Here, I'll say the world awaits your wonderful contribution to the scientific community. I can't even fucking... I said the world awaits your wonderful contribution to the scientific community. There you go. Nobody got me. Fucking my community got me, okay? That's right. I did it. You on your own, pal? What does she mean, the Met Gala, which is tonight? It's, I think New York Fashion Week has been going on. You know what's funny? Like, a lot of this shit's been popping off, like New York Fashion Week, like the VMAs were last night. I don't even know what the fuck was happening. Like, I'm completely oblivious to all this stuff. And I feel like COVID has played a role in that. You know what I mean? Here you go. Speaking of VMAs news, though, of course, we got to do talk. We do have to talk about fucking, yeah, rise up in arms with your Twitter fingers. Your take on MGK and Conor McGregor? I don't even know what happened. Internet comment etiquette on Dr. Dewormer. Yeah, I heard this is a good video, but so why did Conor McGregor try to fight MGK?
Let me know.
This might be why she wasn't at the VMAs. Her husband is a registered sex offender. Nicki Minaj bails on the 2021 VMAs performance. I'll explain another day. Venue must be near a Chuck E. Cheese. Wait, so her husband's a registered sex offender? Someone tries to fight me in front of Megan Fox. I'm going to tear the place up. He was drugged up and MGK refused to take a pic with him. So, okay, I need to know. Nicki Minaj's husband, Kenneth Petty, arrested for failing to register as a sex offender. Oh my God, what the fuck? What the fuck? My father got the vaccine, got a blood clot in his left eye, became blind, and ended up in the hospital same week with COVID. I'm sorry, babe. OMG. His girlfriend at the same time already said that he never did anything to her. It was all because of the relationship with her parents. What? The New York Times already confirmed it was an innocent aid worker and his family. There was no imminent attack, lying, murder, psychopaths run our military. Biden's admin John Kirby says...
Are you able to confirm, or will you be able to confirm at any point the people's names or identities of those killed in the 2 drone strikes targeting alleged ISIS militants in the last days before the withdrawal was complete? Thanks.
Hey, Phil, thanks. What I can say is I cannot confirm them at this time.
And is there any time in the future that you'll be able to do that?
I just can't confirm them at this time, Phil. I think I need to leave it there.
So I was going to actually follow up on that question. John, in previous briefings, I asked you if you have the name of the ISIS operative that you killed in the drone strikes, and
Right.
you said it's not the appropriate time to disclose this. Now,
Well, you know they're really desperate to pin shit on Biden when they're concerned about a drone strike? I mean, this is a disgusting thing that the American military did. I do not give a fuck if they're doing it because they want to fucking hurt Biden. I do not give a fuck what the other underlying intentions are. It is an absolutely disgusting thing that the American military has been doing for far too fucking long. And the fact that the media is like finally asking these sorts of questions, these are legitimate questions that you want answers from the government from, and how these people will be held accountable. You know, this is ultimately a good thing, and I'm fully in support of it. I don't give a fuck what the underlying motivation is, okay?
now the New York Times has revealed something that is incredible, that the strike was actually targeted a aid worker. Why is it not the appropriate time to discuss? Or is it
Well, Phil was asking about I think Phil was asking about the strikes we took on the 27th of August, and I'm not able to confirm the identities of the ISIS.
How was the New York Times able to confirm the identity of the ISIS operative and also tell you that it's not an ISIS operative, but the American government can't? What happened, dude? You guys don't have enough people on the ground? Is that what happened?
Individuals that were targeted in those strikes.
And also on this the measles and then the pause in the flights, the 7-day extension. When did it start?
Today.
Today, from today.
Yeah.
Actually, thank you.
Yeah, Trace.
Hi, John. Thank you. I actually have 2 questions. So the first, piggybacking off of what you just asked as far as this New York Times report stating that it was actually a civilian that may have been killed and that vehicle may not have been carrying any explosives at all. First and foremost, what is your response to these articles that were written? And then also, if there's no longer any military on the ground, how is this investigation being conducted into the incident?
Yeah, so I would say that the assessment by Central Command is ongoing, and I'm not going to get ahead of that.
Yeah, dude, totally, dude. They're gonna, you know, they're gonna investigate. They're gonna have the cops investigate the cops and find no wrongdoing, you know? Of course. Dude, Nicki Minaj this is what I'm saying. Like, there's no shot. You got anti-vaxxers, which are really, really fucking popping on social media. And then you also have anti-vaxxers are always popping on social media. And also Nicki Minaj is a really active social media following. So it's not going to happen. Okay, I don't really care about Trump's calls as he like tried to steal the election. Let's look at American
Furniture sales.
I don't care about Steven Crowder.
Sales have been skyrocketing during the pandemic when there's a whole lot of sitting around. The Washington Post reports monthly sales have risen 181% from April 2020 to March of this year. But a shortage of skilled workers has contributed to unprecedented delays in getting the furniture to customers. Nikki Batiste recently traveled to North Carolina, America's furniture capital, to see what the industry is doing to hire workers. Right now.
Bro, this is not even a meme. Like, this is the reason why I clicked on this so fucking fast, even though it might come across like a dumbass news bit. Okay? But it's literally because it's like, I can't even get a fucking, oh my God. Oh my God. There is literally a special place reserved in hell for motherfuckers who lose their minds every time I mention GIF or GIF. It doesn't matter. It's interchangeable. I say both. Like, chat will cry about this for the next 3 hours. Okay? Shut the fuck up. Move on. Okay? I hate it. I hate it so much. Please. Oh God, you guys are pathetic.
Now she's in her green room. Nikki, good morning.
Good morning, guys. I'm here in the green room because the furniture here is supplied by Mitchell Gold and Bob Williams, manufacturers in Taylorsville, North Carolina, who have dedicated themselves to inspiring the furniture artisans of the future. Here at the Mitchell Gold and Bob Williams Furniture Factory in North Carolina, hundreds of craftsmen and craftswomen meticulously sew, trim, and staple. Walking around
Why is this just like a fucking ad, dude? What's going on?
The 2008 crash.
Yes, ma'am. And we were only working about 4 days a week.
Production to the U.S. Today placed by the Trump, forcing furniture makers to scramble for labor. When tariffs were put in place by the Trump administration, there was new pressure on manufacturers to move production to the U.S.
This is true. This is true. Like, in a response to fucking the tariffs, China, which owns a overwhelming amount, nearly the entirety of fucking dock space all around the world, decided to just, you know, use the areas that they've rented in all the fucking docks all around the world and decide not to ship products or ship products at a slower pace. Part of the reason why you have so many fucking so many like deliveries held up, especially international deliveries, especially like large deliveries that come in shipments overseas, is because there isn't a lot of like available space, and this is the outcome of that. So this has created a situation where like American manufacturers are forced to like actually fucking hire domestic labor and start manufacturing furniture domestically, so that there is like furniture to fucking purchase.
Today, by some estimates, roughly half of upholstered furniture is made in America. When the pandemic hit, people spent more time at home and furniture sales skyrocketed.
Guess we know how the daily... Wait, what? Leaked documents reveal the special rules Facebook uses for 5.8 million VIPs. These people can violate our standards without any consequence. Even in case where the content is ultimately removed, Facebook has treated VIP users differently from others. And the documents revealed by Wall Street Journal, Neymar, that contained nude photos of a woman who had accused him of rape. He claimed that she was extorting him. For normal users posting... Oh my God. People were making posts that got caught in the company's automated moderation system and were taken down by its human moderators. The problem wasn't that the moderators, human or otherwise, were wrong to take down the post. The problem No, the problem was that the people behind the post were famous or noteworthy, and the company didn't want a PR mess on its hands. So they came up with a program called X-Check or Cross-Check, in which many instances become the de facto whitelist. Over the years, Cross-Check has allowed celebrities, politicians, athletes, activists, journalists, and even one of those animal influencers like Doug the Pug to post whatever they want. View must be a relative term for Facebook because 5.8 million people were enrolled in the program as of last year. A product manager wrote, "We have to balance that with the business risk." That makes sense. But when prominent users are moderated, they can air their grievances with their followers, creating a potential public relations headache. If the users are politicians, they may call for increased regulation on the platform. I mean, we've known this before. We've known this for some time now. Like, Republicans routinely cry bully the platform to get favorable treatment, and that's precisely why all of these top media accounts on Facebook are Republicans. This means Republicans were crying about nothing? No. Republicans were crying specifically for this, and they have gotten this, but ultimately it doesn't matter because it's good because their followers still get banned. So they're making it seem like they themselves are having a hard time with Facebook in a similar capacity to their followers who are routinely getting banned. Even before all this shit popped off, Facebook was getting consulting from the Heritage Foundation for their like responsible media platform. It's not an accident that Tucker Carlson's platform, The Daily Caller, was one of the fact checkers that they used. Okay, dude, here's the Nicki Minaj tweet. Jesus fucking Christ, you guys. Oh my God. Yeah, she said, my cousin in Trinidad won't get the vaccine because his friends got it and became impotent. His testicles became swollen. His friend was weeks away from getting married. Now the girl called off the wedding. So just pray on it and make sure you're comfortable with your decision, not bullied. Okay, yeah, she's a fucking dumbass. What do you want? God damn, you guys are fucking so annoying, dude. Yeah, Nicki Minaj is a fucking dumbass. Okay? We often forget that celebrities are fucking dumbasses, okay? Because they're in a position of prominence, because they're public figures, we automatically and perhaps inappropriately suspect them of being more intelligent than they actually are. That's the reality with fucking hero worship. That's the reality with all this shit. Nicki Minaj is just as fucking stupid as your Facebook aunt. Why the fuck would you think she's intelligent? Why would you think she's even remotely fucking intelligent? Okay, she's not. But the reality is, we're all dumb too. We're all just as fucking stupid. The difference between me and Nicki Minaj is that I'm at least dumb enough, but smart enough to fucking recognize that I'm dumb. You think you are smart though? No, I don't. Newsflash. I'm a fucking idiot. But I guess I'm smarter than you because I recognize my limitations. You are too stupid to recognize your limitations. I'm a fucking idiot, but I understand that I'm an idiot, and therefore I believe authorities on this matter because they are smarter than I am. They have studied this their entire fucking lives. I'm also smart enough to try to comprehend what the other motivating principles here might be. Perhaps every fucking corporate entity wants a goddamn effective and safe vaccine so that we can all go back to business as usual, so the American people can go back to their fucking consumption machine, so that the American workers can go back to being like the fucking cogs in the machine that continues. Okay? There is a very powerful interest here at play to ensure that there was a safe and effective vaccine that keeps people out of fucking ICUs. And we got that. You understand? Nicki Minaj did her own research. Yeah. Why you got so much hate today? I didn't. I don't think I'm getting more hate than I normally do. I get around this amount of hate every day, I would say. Yeah, if you did your research, you find out you've been taking booster shots for your whole life. First of all, that's not even true. But secondly, even if it is true, so the fuck what? What if you are supposed to take booster shots for the rest of your life? What if fucking COVID also becomes even more dangerous and becomes even more deadly? Are you not going to take the booster shots? Then don't. And then fucking die, dude. Like, I seriously. Of course, someone said, no, why are you always in black people's business? I swear he purposely targets black people. He has me defending Nicki. I am in an alternate universe. Dude, there is nothing funnier than like K-pop stan accounts that like talk to 12 other people on the internet, like acting like they're the foremost authority. You know what I mean? Not me defending Nikki. Yeah, dude, Nikki really needed your defense there. Jesus Christ. Stan Hasanabi for good, for, you know, good health, for clear skin. Okay.